Well, hello, gamers, and welcome back to Gaming with the Guys. It's been a week, and we are happy to be back doing another conversation. This week, we're talking themes, and we're going to be talking about Silvermoon themes, something that we in our local meta know far too much about. Not that we hate it, we just hate losing to it on a regular basis, or not being able to do anything we damn well want. Forgive my dog, she's going insane tonight. So if you are doing the Gaming with the Guys drinking game, be prepared. I would say get the bottle down and have the shot glass ready. It may need to be refilled a couple times. There we go. Anyway, so to help me talk about Silvermoon, first I'm going to bring in someone who's skilled, who's charming, and who has a fabulous beard. He's a Grandmaster, so we'll obviously take his opinion into account. We're going to bring in Grandmaster Cody. Hello there. Not much. How are you, sir?
Oh, not too bad. Ready to talk about all the terrible things that Silvermoon does to me.
Silvermoon is like having a bad burrito.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think anybody's ever talked about it that way, but that's what it is. It tastes good, looks really delicious, but man, eventually it just gets you.
Yeah. It's yeah.
I wanted to say I just pulled that one out of my ass, but the whole burrito reference kind of just
that was kind of I had to cut the thoughts off because I was just like, well, nope, that sounds bad. That sounds bad.
There was nothing that was good.
Nope.
There is no good thing to say about Silvermoon. Or Silvermoon players. They're terrible people.
Well, if you're playing Silvermoon, there's lots of good things to say.
Well, if you're playing
it's a great faction to play.
Whole different story. But if you're playing
against them, terrible people, just awful, scum of the earth.
Pretty much. Just watch your coin purse, watch your women. Never trust a Silvermoon player.
Right.
So, to get a better idea how to play some of these Silvermoon themes or to build a Silvermoon theme, we're going to bring in Gaming Jason. Hello,
hang on. Wait, I'm finishing texting your women here because they need a real man to show them the true Silvermoon way.
Let me yell up at my wife real quick. Hold on.
Oh my,
babe.
Oh my. All right.
Is the kid actually mine?
Yikes. That got TMI really quick there, gentlemen.
After dark are spicy on this episode.
This is well, is there any other way when you're talking about what I would... So when I say this not that they are a faction that cheats, but they are the cheatiest faction out there.
True. Yeah.
That's their whole emphasis. That's what Silvermoon does.
It's kind of true. Some of the cards literally basically tell you, you can kind of just cheat and it's cool.
Well, if you're going to be running gambling dens, because you can't tell me you're going to Vegas and saying, oh yeah, we totally rely on luck and percentage and blah, blah, blah. No. I'm sure somebody will tell me otherwise, and it's probably true, but sure doesn't feel that way when you're on the losing end of it. And let me tell you, I've been on the losing end of that a whole lot.
Same.
Right there they have the lucky number 8, and that just basically says, yeah, you know what, you got the 7, but just make it an 8. It's okay.
Right.
It's all good. That's how gambling works. So kids, don't gamble ever. I know that's hard, especially if you're watching Premier League soccer, because every soccer team's got some gambling den on their jersey.
Shit, have you seen NFL football? I go into work every other day and people are like, yo, you hit up that parlay, and I'm like, the hell are you talking about?
Fantasy football's different. That's not gambling, that's skill.
Okay, DraftKings.
I'm also getting my ass kicked in that too.
I don't do it.
Well, to be perfectly honest, so I said we weren't going to get dragged off topic, but I'm getting dragged off topic. For my fantasy football team this year, I've had 3 starting quarterbacks. I had Trey Lance for San Francisco. He goes down in game 2 and is gone for the season. I picked up Tao Tagovailoa. He was the
Tao. He just got brain dead.
I'm like, I'm going to score some points because he's against a really blah blah blah. And then I almost by halftime, I'm sitting at the bar with my wife, and all of a sudden, bam, he goes down. I'm like, oh.
He's probably done for the season after that repeat concussion.
Smelling salts. Get him back up. He's fine. Rub some dirt in it.
Hasn't he seen Scott Sterling, the YouTube video? Come on.
So then I have Jameis Winston, who was out last week, so we'll see how he's doing. So I'm just going through. I'm like, all right, who's the quarterback that's going to die next? I'm just going to put him on my team. He's going to last for a quarter and a half. I mean, hell, the first time I ever played fantasy football, the first league I ever was in, I'm like, all right, it was years ago. I'm like, you know what? Most people don't take a quarterback first pick, but I liked it because that, the quarterback usually will get you consistent good points. So I figured, fuck, I'm going to get myself a good quarterback. So I picked Tom Brady. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. Second play of the fucking season. He goes down with an injury for the rest of the season.
I remember that year.
You gotta be kidding me.
You stuck it out though with him, didn't you? Hold him on your bench for the
I held him on for 3 games, but I had my backup quarterback that I got later in the late round was he played for the Chargers. He had probably his best season. It was his breakout season. I can't remember his name. He retired about a season or so ago.
He Rivers, right?
Phillip Rivers. And he powered me through that season. So I did I made the playoffs and then got bombed in the first round. But yeah, if I didn't have him, I was screwed. Because there were slim pickings for the rest of the quarterbacks after that, so it's not like I'm taking Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think anybody in my league who's all Packer fans would let me because my history with watching quarterbacks die when they're on my team. Speaking of dying in teams, so we're talking about themes. That was a terrible segue.
Yeah, that was a really bad segue.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Boo.
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 So we have several themes to choose from tonight. I'm just ignoring you all. So who would like to start first? I've only got one this week, so you're only going to listen to me talk when I'm trying to, be annoying and butt in on everybody else.
I can start first and then go last.
All right. So let's start you with which one you want to start with, Iron Fist or Yokozuna?
We'll get Iron Fist out of the way.
All right. So we're going with the Iron Fist Gumi. Let me. Cody's gonna start that out. If you're looking to see what exactly is on the list, take a look in the comments. I'll have all the lists for what we put for themes together. And as always, give us some comments on what you think you would do differently. If you like our list, don't like our list.
Personally, though, yeah,
I would say
my favorite.
Iron Fist is your favorite. Yeah. I enjoy. I like it. It has versatility. And I'm hemming and hawing because I'm trying to find
the card.
No, the right thing.
Oh,
there it is. God, I am totally
out of it. He's bungling, ladies and gentlemen.
Bungling
like crazy. So Iron Fist Gumi. Here we go.
Iron Fist Gumi. So the Iron Fist Gumi, the first benefit is during the starting phase, one friendly model gains a virtue token. Really only nice if you take Oda.
Yeah, that's true.
Unfortunately, that is true. Because
I think he's the only one that has a virtue that you could use. So until they make something else, or Jason wins a Grand Masters and gets something with a virtue.
Maybe
a virtuous rose, but it wouldn't be in that theme. So fuck it.
I mean, I can make it a Shita. I can make it a Shite because that's what a majority of the other roses are.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
so it's nice if you take him, but yeah. So the second one is the Shatai. How do you say that? Whatever. The Shatai. Models gain bravery, which that's really nice.
Yeah.
Especially when your cheapos are 1 key and
you're playing cold against cold.
The bulk of your list is 1 key.
Yeah. So awesome, great ability, especially since you don't have to take a model that gives them, bravery or leadership, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last ability is once per turn, once you make a dice roll, reroll any single dice in the roll. So that's your basically lucky Buddha token of cheat.
Yeah, it's nice because usually the luck tokens, and Jason, correct me if I'm wrong. Here we go. Oh, I thought I knocked myself out. Normally with a luck token, you have to be within 6 inches of somebody who has the luck. So
that's true. Honestly, I like this ability, but when they threw it out there, I just felt like that it was like the underpants gnome, where it's like this plus this equals profits, and this is like the profits. It's like, okay, how do we go from to pretty good to, oh well, this is actually fucking awesome
Right.
ability that you get. That's just what I'm thinking of. I mean, like I take it, I forget it most of the times, except in those one-off situations. I'm like, oh shit, that's right, I got that reroll I can use. That's not through like or through like another means of using the reroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I was playing this theme, what I would do is I'd have, like, whether it's a luck token or whatever token I want to signify that I have that reroll, and I'd put it on the card
Mm-hmm.
or right on my hand or something.
You're going to need something to remind yourself because you're going to forget constantly.
Yeah, that one too, because especially since it's once per turn, and you can use it on any roll, and it's just like, oh wait, when the hell do I actually use it?
Yeah, and that's the nice thing too, is that you get it every single turn, so use it.
Well,
don't save it. If you need to crank a damage roll or something, you can use it at any point. So
that's the key that I like. It's when you make a dice roll. So it's not a test. It could be for anything. So that's
damn, that means I figured out my new way to use it now on turn 1, because I never use it on turn 1 most of the time. Tactical roll, I think.
Tactical roll. It is a die roll, and it is once per turn.
So if I really, for some reason, want to win tactical roll, I can use it there.
If you let's say you rolled a 1 and your opponent rolled a 2, yeah, I'm going to take that shot at it.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's the real reason why you take the theme, at least if you're just looking at the benefits, is that reroll. Very strong. Bravery's always good, but yeah, the free reroll every turn is amazing.
It's very, very useful. I'll say that the bravery fills a hole. It fills a weakness for Silvermoon, and the weakness in Silvermoon is that they don't have a lot of things to mitigate fear.
Right.
The Butos generate fear, and so they get protection because they're fear 4, fear 5.
They're fear 4, and most of them all have steadfast if they don't have fearless.
So, but they're Butos. They're 2 dice. They should be making it, and they kind of have their thing. But depending on the list that you're playing, a bulk of your guys are going to be 1 key models that have nothing.
Yeah, they're not going to have anything to help with that at all, to deal with fear.
Just plain luck, crap tons of reloads, and now bravery. So
yeah, it's huge. It helps a lot. So anyway, the permitted models are Oda, Buto, Daifukaya, the Shitai, and animals.
Yep.
And then exclusion is models with a ranged weapon other than a whip.
Whip. I was getting that weird.
I was getting a little excited.
I know.
So to start my list, I have Greg's number 2 pick.
Ooh.
Mr. Daifukaya himself.
Oh yeah.
Yep, he's worth it.
Yeah.
I enjoy using him in this list.
I mean, that was I tried to model this after a lot of the list Jason has kicked the crap out of me with. So this model we went into significant detail about in our top 3. And I mean, what's better than a 4 melee pool model
with kata?
And brutal. You really can't get much better than that. And then his key feats, just being able to set everybody on fire, kind of gives you a little bit of area control, or just getting those kills. I mean,
or just forcing people to. The big thing that sorry, I'm jumping in here with Inferno, with it being able to put out a fire marker, a fire 2 marker, is unless they want to take that damage, somebody's losing activations.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great way to kind of
strip
activations, or then you take 2 points of damage. And you could say some figures aren't going to be too concerned about 2 points of damage. Maybe Oni.
I was going to say only like Savage Wave and Onis would not really be worried about that.
Minimoto have 7 wounds, so take it down to 5. It's Ito, it's like, fuck, two wounds, I'm down to 3.
Yeah.
And most other models in the game, that's 30%
6
of
down
their
to 4
wounds.
is still pretty significant too. So
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so he's just all around good, and he's your main beater. Just send him in, go beat the crap out of stuff.
Yeah.
He can't really. I mean, you can go wrong with it, but with him having powerful attack, slam attack is always fun. Depending on what you need to do, you can always charge him. So his charge range would be 8. Throw everything in attack, do a slam attack, just to get that model out of position, or and then knock him prone or whatever you need to do. That's always fun.
Oh yeah.
And putting him in a zone. I mean, again, you got a four dice model. Putting him in a zone, and he's got push defense 0.
Yeah.
So that will keep people off their, take them off their guard, because they're thinking, oh, he's going to try to light me on fire because he's going to flame on and then toss me around. Nah.
Exactly. So he's just good. He's good at zones. You really don't want him flipping idols, but even if you have to go flip an idol or pray or whatever, and then he's exhausted and someone's coming in, well, then he's on 3 dice. So that's okay.
That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Me too.
Most people are.
I wish he was in Temple.
Oh, well, he left Temple.
I know. He's evil. That's why he is brutal. And then with him, we talked about how you can bring a fire kami. Spoiler, I don't have one in my list.
Well, you can't take one anyways.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, with his theme, it still lets him do it. The theme restriction of no using ranged attack, or
If
you
this
can't
model
have
is
models with range.
this model is included in your warband, you may also include a Ronin fire kami. Well, that's going to be one that I would wonder about.
I think it would supersede to the overall theme, because the overall theme says you can't have range
but
beyond
the overall
0.
theme doesn't allow you to have commies.
No, that's true.
So, or I should say, doesn't allow you to have Ronin commies. Actually, it just doesn't allow you to have commies. Period. So,
shit. Well,
okay,
if that's the case, then all of a sudden,
I'm thinking something else.
and if that's the case, then all of a sudden my Iron Fist list just got a lot more interesting, because I do enjoy taking the fire commies from time to time.
It's a great way to, if that is true, that you could take them even though they have a range attack. But again, the way I'm looking at it is, I can't take commies, but it is a, what is it? It's a restricted, or it's a excluded. Anything with a range. But again,
I mean, according to the battle scribe, it doesn't alert as not valid. So.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Oops, that was a little too close. So yeah. So with if you wanted to, you could. But of course, Cody, being the trendsetter that he is, did not.
Yeah, I was having a little bit of fun with this list, and you'll see why shortly. So that's the first model, 22 rice, almost a quarter of the list gone.
I would say, is he your most expensive model in the list?
Yeah, I'm going top to bottom. So the next model is the man, the myth, the legend, Manu. I believe he was my 3rd choice for top 3.
And a good choice.
Yeah. So again, I picked him because if I'm taking a single Budo, he kind of does everything that I want at the right rice cost. Only being 20, 20 still a significant chunk, but he's well worth that 20 with 3 melee pool, a bucket load of wounds, but having the throw attack, push defense, and throw defense really just makes him stand out in my opinion. And then now with some of the changes to like a movable, that makes him even scarier.
Do you want to? Because I know some of the things, but I think are you more up to speed on the movable changes? You want to talk about those real quick?
As far as I remember, and I don't want to say too much because I don't remember everything off the top of my head, but movable models, and I don't want to say anything wrong. So movable models don't have to change facing for
if somebody
if somebody attacks combat, or even to like pray at idols and stuff.
Correct. That's my.
They don't have to turn to face.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have to change. Basically, if it's outside of their activation, they don't turn to face a model. They don't turn when they pray.
Right. Well,
they basically just plop their ass down.
So that's important probably for other Butos. For Manu, the point is moot because he's aware.
Oh, actually, so is Yokozuna. He's the only other immovable. The other two are immune to prone.
Yeah.
The other ones are immune to prone. So against them, this doesn't make a lot of sense. But other immovable models like Rayo, that's huge.
Well, it
Yeah.
is still
Oh, yeah.
huge with him because of effects like Heed My Word and stuff like that, where you're, if you do the opposed key test and you win and you don't walk the model, he can't be moved outside of his turn.
Yep.
If I'm interpreting that right.
I think it's right because how they've ruled in movable now is he doesn't move outside of his turn.
Right.
So walk would count also because you don't control him.
Yeah.
The only way you can move him is if you throw a control marker on him at that point.
Right.
Yeah, because then he becomes friendly and he's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's easier to deal with.
So, those are some of the big reasons why he's in there. And, also zones, push defense, or he can push people off idols, although you're probably going to throw him off idols because why wouldn't you want to throw someone into someone else? It's just a lot of fun and annoying. I hate it. I hate throw. I want to get both throw, attack, and defense removed from the game, unless I have everybody with it and I can use it only.
It's one of those things. If your list doesn't have anything to deal with it, and I'll be honest, most lists don't. I mean, I could play a snake-heavy list in Ito, and I'm like, whatever. But I still am going to take some penalty if they come up to me and beat on me.
Oh yeah, it's not broken by any means. It's just annoying.
It's demoralizing.
Yeah,
that's the better word for it.
It's not like a full health Oni getting crit attacked and just boom gone. It's just
crit attack. Like let's just heap on that. Crit attacked when they failed the damage roll because they rolled double ones on the 0.
Oh, that's my
on success level 0.
I love doing that.
Yeah, that's one of those where you just want to. You want
to reach across the table and throat punch your opponent.
Well, but it's not the opponent's fault. Although probably the dude's grinning and giggling to himself about it, or apologizing profusely. You want to take their
video doing that.
You just want to take their dice and kind of grind them into dust, and
yeah.
But
yeah, that throw, attack, and defense not as bad as crit attack, not as feel bad. Mm-hmm. In that aspect as crit attack. It just feels bad in a different way, and it's just because your models are literally getting thrown and it's taking 2 activations. The activation for the combat, and then if they don't have jump up, the activation to stand up. Yeah.
And then potentially if you the person who's throwing plays it right, you're throwing them into another model, so you're knocking 2 models down.
Right. So and that's super annoying because Jason never fails the distance roll on that.
Well, now they changed it, so it's just 2 inches.
Well, yeah. Before that, though, it was always like, oh, I need to be like exactly 3 or whatever, and it was, yeah.
I was able to get it.
It was no bueno. Okay, so we've got Dafukaya, we've got Manu. Who else do we have in this merry parade of your Iron Fist Gumi?
My next most expensive model is dropping all the way down to the whopping 11 rice mark, and that is Satsuko.
Okay. Oh, yes. Everybody's favorite masseuse.
Because what else do you need but Dafukaya with 3 activations every turn?
That is exactly why she is in the list, because either A, having the crazy monk beat the living crap out of things with 3 activations, or having Manu throw 3 people can really get annoying. So, and at 11 rice, she's just a bargain.
Agreed. It's difficult not to take her.
Yeah, and she can do the invigorate once per turn, but it's active, so she can.
She doesn't lose it. She doesn't lose a token. Yeah.
Right, and she's still a great objective runner.
Yeah.
Even with disguised, you don't necessarily want her to lose that, but you don't feel as bad about her going and flipping an idol or doing something like that because she's still doing all of the other stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say, Shiatsu.
Yeah,
is nice to it's nice to have just to be careful. Removing a stun marker, that's great, but really removing that control marker is huge.
Or the frightened,
or the impetuous, or the berserk. And now that they've made the changes to berserk, that getting rid of that is not the worst thing in the world either. Because let's be honest, Manu Mono needs to be able to put his dice, and I'm just picking on Mono. Dafukai, whatever the fuck he wants to do. He's got 4 dice. But Mono you really want him, because he's sitting on 3 dice, you really want him to be able to do 2-1 in the way you want it to do. So being aggressive kind of telegraphs a little bit where he's going to be. I mean, it telegraphs no matter who the model is, but in Mono, it's that much more important because you're not going to spend that 1 die
right
to get defensive throw. So yeah.
So that's the main reason she's just pumping up activations on your non-animal models. She can be an objective runner. She is bargain at 11 rice, and plus she has key block, so don't be afraid, because she can focus as a simple action and be at full key like right away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't be heartbroken about running her in, boosting the melee pool and throwing key block on specific models.
Yeah. Well, you're probably holding her off to the very end to be able to do that.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't have her going against like a Hiroto or anything.
No.
You know, certain other models, or even like Kami, that it's just annoying. But
an exhausted prone model that's lying on the ground, and she comes up and
yeah, and she might not even need to boost at that point.
Right, because
the model
could be a three dice model that's exhausted, prone, that they're down to 1 die versus your 2.
Yeah, plus she's agile and evasive and has jump up, so good luck trying to keep her locked down.
Yeah, no, since she's come out, she's a real steal. She's really, really good. All right.
Thank God they didn't give her 3 melee pool, because she would be broken.
She'd be very dangerous with 3, but she's got 3 range. So when they give hand cannons in the cycle deck, no, I have no insight. I'm making things up.
I'm just waiting for like the Roses to be able to start throwing their fans.
That'd be kind of cool.
They never really threw fans, but blades came out of the fans. Maybe, I don't know. They'll figure.
Well, something like that. Always medium range, -2, 3-inch range.
An iron fan. Cool. That's going to be heavy. -2, but anyway,
whatever.
It'd be ammo, because once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that. It'd be cool.
Win with Silvermoon, you can.
So, the next model. So far we're at, what is that? 53 rice. Yeah.
Yes.
53 rice. So the next model is, I'm gonna butcher this name, Sukurachi or something like that.
Surakachi.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Ooh, where is he? I know I have to have this dude. There he is.
He's right there. Yeah.
All right.
So he is in the list because I wanted to not only have the 2 most annoying melee beaters, I wanted to have animals, because why not?
Mm-hmm.
So he's only 10 rice, allows you to take animals, which we'll get to. He's an average fighter with 3 melee pool. He has 3 range, doesn't matter. But his big thing is, 1, he has command animal, but then his key feat spur on, which is huge. And it's 2 key, it's an active, I believe that's 3 inches. Yeah, 3-inch. And target friendly animal model gains rise 4 and loses the aloof trait.
Yay.
Yeah. So
it's huge, because that's saved my ass a couple times, being able to remove aloof from like my gorilla or something. It's like, and the gorilla learn to prey at an idol or some animal.
Yeah, for those who are listening, I've got my happy face on about that.
Or the stupid like weasel.
No, the weasel can't, because he's insignificant.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
The weasel and the chicken, but the leopard can, and the gorilla could.
How the hell does the leopard all of a sudden get opposable thumbs?
It's praying. You can pray without having opposable thumbs.
Whatever.
So yeah,
you don't know what the animals are feeling.
He's in there just because animals. He's also a good generic objective runner, and then being able to give a silverback rise 4 is probably the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah.
You finally get through and kill the stupid thing, and then I've got Rise.
Come back to full
great.
health. I'm just prone.
Yeah. You can tell Jason's done that to both of us multiple times.
Oh yes, multiple times, and I've
I
enjoyed
actually
it.
started taking the stupid Ronin card that gets rid of Rise when I played against Jason, so I kind of net decked him because I was so tired of facing it.
I found the way around it. Poison.
Yeah.
Poison or burn or bleed.
Anything.
Except on the gorilla, it has tub, so you have to let it on fire, suckers.
Exactly. But yeah,
Tub
so
is ignoring the poison one and the bleed one.
That's
just
why you did it with poison 2 or 3.
He's
Or
just-
Lords of Izu.
Oh, there you go. That works.
there you go. So yeah, he's just generic, good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Lets you do some cool stuff with the animals, but otherwise not game breaking. Just more
Unless if he's
annoyance.
fighting against animals, because he gets
Oh, yeah,
actually
he
like
kicks
super
it
buff
crap.
against animals. Honestly, he should get like the super buff against like Trash Panda and the other like monk animals of Temple Rogan. Bad raccoon.
Yes,
That'd be kind of funny. He could be like
He should. I mean,
Akari
there's still
killer.
animals technically, so he still knows kind of how to beat them. Who cares if they know kung fu now?
he
There
is,
you go.
he was the bane of Kawa Norojin.
Win a Grandmaster and make this guy, but call him like Sukarachi Unleashed or something. He's like 20 rice and he gets
yeah,
unblockable against
Big
animals.
Super Saiyan hair too.
Yeah.
He could go to Sabro's Heavy Men Hair Club.
There you go. And then if he kills an animal model, the opponent has to give you $5.
Yes.
Because that's Silvermoon.
That's Silvermoon just in general. That's what my card is going to be. I'm going to make my event card. Give me $5. All right, I'm happy. The game's over. I got $5.
There you go.
$2 rice.
$5.
$5. So the next model and my last Silvermoon model is just a generic Quyoka the 8 rice guys.
Nunchuck dudes.
Nunchuck dudes.
Guys. Let me see if I can find them. Okay.
I'm terrible with these names. That's why
That's
I play
okay.
Temple, because they're so much easier.
Yeah, okay.
Taiki.
There he is.
Jin. Tsuchiro.
Yeah. So 8 rice, 3 melee pool. They've got the chain weapon, and they have fortune, which is always nice, especially because they're key feat dirty fighting. But they're only key stat of 1/6. But overall, they're your good generic frontline objective runners. If you need to strip off activations or speed bump a model like Hiroto or something along those lines, they're still stripping an activation.
That's true, I guess. I don't know.
For him to kill them mercilessly, yes.
Well, yeah, but
jump around.
Yeah, it's still 8 rice. It's not a terrible thing to suicide these guys in.
And dirty fighting is kind of filthy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you got the jump on Hiroto, then yeah, it makes sense to throw him so he can't just eagle flights and then be like, haha, I just pinball around everywhere.
Oh, I've made it away. Ha.
Right. So dirty fighting. Dirty fighting's always nice. And the fact that it's on an 8 rice model, even better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of, they're just there to soak up points. I mean, you could easily swap this guy out for a fire kami, same rice cost.
I think you get more use out of this guy than you do a fire. I shouldn't say that. Fire kamis are pretty freaking good, and Dafukaya makes them vile beyond words, but they can't.
These help you do other. They're a little bit more.
He could flip an idol, and you don't think twice about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, fire kami can't.
So that's why he's in the list. Just good generic guys. You can't go wrong taking 1, 2, or 4. Because you can take 2 of these and 2 of the crossbow guys, and that's not a terrible investment.
Koyokan.
Well, not in Iron Fist, you can't. But
no, but I'm just saying in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forgot I have one more Silvermoon model.
Oh, so you only have one of these, one of the Koyokan.
Only one, yeah.
Okay.
So the last Silvermoon model is Wakasu Akuma, the weasel.
You took the damn mongoose.
Take me to the weasels.
Yep. This model is solely in here because he is for sure a speed bump, and then he's also basically 2 pass tokens.
It's 2 pass tokens with fucking lightning reflexes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that you can get more use out of it. It's 1 rice. Like, why not take it?
Take 2.
Not gonna lie, for 1 rice, he has I always like think about taking, but I never do. At least more recently. But for 1 rice, he has a lot of damn crap on his card, and it's all like annoying crap too. Just to be
Lightning
like, I'm
reflexes,
actively
dodge
here to
2,
screw you
range
and take
defense
your
2,
activation
tiny,
away.
yeah,
immune to poison.
Yeah, so
he's a plague rat.
I could still light him on fire, but you know, he's
here's
immune to
one
poison.
veto.
So I just took him because why not? It's 2 extra activations. He can speed bump for models, kind of block charge lanes. I mean, he's not, causing a
He's
zone of
insignificant,
control or
so,
anything,
yeah.
but they, if you line it up, they can't run over him. So
Correct.
He used to be a great way to catch arrows until they changed insignificance, so you can't do it anymore.
until he took an arrow to the knee. But yeah,
actually, these were like the best
whole
arrow
knee
catchers
flinkies.
in the game. Damn, for taking the shot from someone like that, range defense 2 and tiny.
Yeah,
they weren't gonna. They're definitely not gonna hit it.
There you go. Just make your card saying that the weasel can catch arrows.
I'm making all insignificant models at that point.
But yeah, again, a bargain. 1 rice. You can throw rise on it if you want.
Just if he's the only animal left, might as well.
Yeah. So, that's the Silvermoon.
The Silvermoon
models.
portion of this.
So that comes to 72 rice.
Nice.
And then the Ronin portion.
Oh Christ!
And then we'll get into event cards and whatnot.
Okay.
So the Ronin portion is 2 silverback gorillas.
Oh, I gotta go to the Ronin.
So that's 20 rice total.
Oh, wait a minute, I had him in there. What was I doing? Sorry.
Brings it up to 92 rice. And I really don't know why I took 2, but I figured why not.
They're 10 points with 3 melee pool and brutal. Why did you take it? Because they beat the crap out of shit.
I was gonna say they are worth it. Even I mean, being aggressive is kind of their only downside. So I mean, if they get jumped, it could be kind of risky. But I'm not gonna lie, having 2 of them, I mean, if one dies, I'm not crying as much because these guys can put in the work, whether it's just beating the crap out of someone or just throwing people around.
They're essentially boots.
Fear 5, tough, resistance 1. They're amazing. Throw attack 0. I took 2, and people have been complaining about animals and they want animals to get group and stuff. I hope silverbacks get group because 2 silverbacks coming in to beat the crap out of me, that is just dumb. I hope that change does not happen.
Same just activate them twice, but yeah,
but you get to activate both of them at the same time to go
after but they don't have to attack the same thing. So yeah.
You do go after the same
target. Has to go after the same thing. I thought group could just take activation.
You don't have to.
You're dumb if you don't.
I understand.
Because you're instantly outnumbering them. The first one beats the living crap out of them. The second one throws them away. And then you just do it again. Them. Yeah. It's just...
and you got to make 2 fear checks.
Right.
Which could really screw with someone because they both have fear 5.
Right, if you pass, yeah.
If you make the one, you make another one.
One of them's going to have rise.
Yeah, in theory they would. If you have the key on it.
Yeah.
You need because you're aggressive.
Exactly. So, overall, they're great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please don't put group on these guys.
I think for the group talk, I mean, I'll agree. Maybe on the smaller animals, it should, like on the mongooses and maybe like the crazy attack chickens and like maybe to the dogs to an extent. But anything bigger, like the bulls or like the silverback, you're making them better, and to an extent. Yeah, again, you stop spamming activations, but then you introduce a whole other issue with this, and these guys they have inherent weaknesses. It's just it's almost an equipment, but with them being aggressive, it's just a timing issue.
My solution to it is one that's not popular. And it doesn't go for all animals. It goes for the ones that people have issues for. So issues with. So like Kawanarojin, Silverback. I'm trying to think if there's any other animals that are just like a little outlandish. But those are the two that pretty
those
much.
are the big ones that always I hear people really
I
talking
can't
about.
really
The other
think
animals, not
because
really.
the leopard. Well, the leopard is singular. You can't have two of them. The fighting chicken,
The fighting
whatever.
chicken is just a missile. I mean, the only
Right.
other ones would be the
dogs
dogs.
aren't a
Yeah,
big deal. The dogs are not an offensive or a support piece. They're mini missiles. They could do some damage. They can't. Silverback is a significant threat. It has aloof, which brings its cost down because it can't do objectives, but it can still hold its own.
Oh yeah.
And it could hold it pretty damn well. My solution for and again, it's specific. It really is for just two of the animals, and it's Kawa and it's Kawanarojin and it's the Silverback, and you just make them one. You can't have two.
yeah.
Just one. Now again, that's going to make a large amount of people angry because they specifically bought two because they're fucking broken. Kawanarojin's dumb when you have two.
Hold on 1 second. My headset's gonna die.
Yeah, but yeah, having two of these guys, yeah, that would it definitely there is just a slight demoralizing factor where it's like I killed one, okay, I got a spare one.
Well, and it's so with Kawa, it's the fact that they could buff each other. They could throw out double the amount of buffs, and they have like 3 buffs that they throw out a turn on each. So that's like 6 buffs. Silverback, it's a little different because they're a little more obvious, a little more straightforward. They're a little more just beat the shit out of you, and I could put Rise on one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 10 cost 10. Maybe if they were 12 a pop, I wouldn't be quite as concerned of you taking 2 because that's now 24 points.
Right. But yeah, and I don't know if that's a change that is going to happen. I know that there is, theory crafting and whatnot, and but yeah, I think that would make them even better for 10 rice because you're gonna take the package.
Well, yeah.
You're spending 30 rice in your list between, or is it 31? I think it's 30.
30
Between the two silverbacks, and you have to take
what's his handler.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
8, yeah. So
yeah,
you're at 28 points right now.
No, it's
30. You get 30 because
he's
Sudokachi's 10.
Oh, he's 10. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry,
yeah. No, you kidding me? If he was 8, I would definitely be taking him over Hanoko more than I already do.
And I think I don't remember. She's 11 or 12, but
she's 11.
Still, yeah, that it would just be dumb. But these guys, they're basically Butos.
Mm-hmm.
So the big thing with this list, other than having 4 absolutely massive beat sticks, is this list actually has quite a bit of fear between Manu and the 2 silverbacks.
Yep.
That
is true.
And then basically everything else has bravery. Mm-hmm. So
except for the weasel.
Yeah, but I could have probably found something else to take for 1 rice, but I wanted to take
a bunch of event cards.
You gotta take the weasel, man.
Yeah. So that's the models. I did take looks like 8 rice and event cards.
Well, if you didn't, I'd be concerned.
But did he pick it the right way?
No, definitely not.
Did he pick the right events? I don't know. Let's find out. Events, enhancements, and others.
It's okay. He'll have 1 opportunity at this, and then we'll immediately know if he did it or not.
All right. So, what'd you get?
I took 2 dark secrets.
Of course. So, dark secret, of course. I'm putting the card up really quickly. That just gives you, enemy models within 3 of a friendly have to make a key challenge test of 6. If it fails, it gains a control marker. So you took 2 of those or just 1?
Yeah, I took 2.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah, this is my favorite Silvermoon event card.
You can take it infinitely.
Well, not only that, but just being able to choose an enemy model, and a key challenge 6 is... It's not impossible, but it's also not always easy, even on a 2 dice model.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to potentially gain control of that model for an activation and set something up, whether you're using that model to strip activations or even just turning them around so your silverbacks can go in and beat the crap out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if your opponent turns them back around, well, then they're exhausted. So the silverbacks are going to go in and beat the crap out of them. So
Yeah.
that's why I took 2 of those. Really can't go wrong with them. And then the next one is Hotai's Blessing, because what's better than having rerolls across the board?
For one turn? No,
Yeah.
well, rerolls of 1, so it's not total rerolls, but rerolls of 1 are important. You're never going to use it on Dafukaya, but
for me, that's total rerolls. So
yeah.
I roll a lot of 1s. But the nice thing with this is it's friendly models, so your silverback get to benefit from this.
Mm-hmm.
And the models that you mind controlled, but with your dark secrets.
Yeah. So you can have a really big turn 2.
3 if things are going kind of weird.
But yeah.
Depending on scenario, yeah.
Yeah, and then the last one is inside information.
Oh, I'm just checking something. Okay, cool. Inside information.
2 inside informations then? Because that would put you at 6. You had 9 points left, or
8 points.
No, I've got a Ronin.
Oh, you took a Ronin then? Okay.
Yeah. So, just throwing out an impetuous marker. So not only are you going to control people, you're going to make someone else impetuous.
Because that's always fun.
Yeah. Could really change the tide of turn 2 or 3, depending.
You know, when your opponent really needs to do something right out of the gate with one specific model at the start of a turn, and you make them do it with somebody else.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm super guilty of that. I know I even talked with Beard about that. This is my insurance policy if I lose tactical roll.
Pretty much.
Or
for making tireless figures.
Yeah,
that's the second. That's my
thing too.
That's co-writer part of that policy.
Or just having a model that's in the perfect position that's waiting for you to move. You know, even like the Hagane bomb that kicked the crap out of everyone at the last Grandmaster. You know, make her impetuous. Well, then she's got to move right away. She still has 400 activations, but she might not be in as good of a position to get all of the buffs, or she's just waiting.
Because she's waiting. Yeah, she's waiting for everybody to go last. She wants to go last.
Right. So it's always good to make people impetuous, except for Ito. They like being impetuous now, apparently.
We'll find out.
And then the last card is Year of the Risen Sun.
Okay.
I originally had some changes in this list before I added the extra silverback, but just overall being able to have the extra key across the board, it doesn't affect the animals, but you're able to get that rise turn 1 if needed. Otherwise, you're getting it quicker. At least you could put it on like both gorillas if you wanted. Setsuko, I mean, she doesn't need help getting key, but
everybody could use extra key.
Right. And then Manu and Daifukaya just being able to get their melee boosts turn 1 if for some reason someone's able to get there, whatever happens is always beneficial.
Yep, I would agree. So.
I've been liking this card more. I used to look at it and just like, whatever, why would I want to give my opponent key? But the fact that it's play on turn 1, so you don't have to play it during key generation. You can play it at any point. So you can literally have the last model and just go, all right, now everyone gets an extra key.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I've been liking it more, just because it does help, especially in other war bands, like if you're trying to get that vitality off turn 1 and things like that. But yeah, so that's my Iron Fist list.
All right.
It's scary.
anything with a guy who lights himself on fire and silverbacks.
And silverback screaming down the board with a Budo as backup.
That's something you gotta be concerned about.
I'm just thinking if we did swap out the one nunchuck dude for the fire commune, then it's like, behold, flaming gorillas.
I mean, you could do that, but you're really lacking on.
Oh yeah,
you
are. You need the nunchuck dude for this because you have
guys.
definitely a lot of guys that aren't going to be able to do scenario.
Because otherwise you're relying on Satsuko, which again she is she is very capable of flipping objectives because she is agile, she is evasive, so she get to wherever she needs to do and do her business.
But you don't want her to. You want her to be disguised as long as possible.
That is true.
Yeah,
That
but
is
you can
true.
always swap out, and you don't have to take 2 gorillas. You can take 1, take the fire commie.
Mhm.
There's a lot of, and then that gives you 2 extra ice and events. Yeah, I wouldn't do it either, but
No, because again, if push comes to shove, you can make one of those gorillas flip an objective and have rise.
right,
So
or 2 of them if you have the key because of your the risen sun.
Mhm.
is it active on or is it simple?
Speron's active, but I
Well,
think
there
you
you
can
go.
only do it once a turn.
Let's find out. We have the cards.
I got it pulled up. Nope, it's
Oh,
active.
no, sweet.
Just
No
active,
restriction.
yeah.
Nice.
No turn, no single turn. Okay.
So, unfortunately, he doesn't have fortune, but
That's the reason why he doesn't
That's
have
the reason why
fortune.
he doesn't have fortune.
yeah, I mean, he's starting turn 1 with 2 key. He's going into
Mhm.
turn 2 with 3 key. So, if you need it turn 2, you can do it at least on 1, but then the nice thing is the next turn you can do it again. Or
Yeah.
if you don't need it, well, then the next turn you can put it on 2 of them. So,
Yes, indeed. I'm just putting up the picture of the man. All right. So
yeah.
that is Iron Fist Gumi a la Grandmaster Cody.
It should just be Cody for that.
just Cody.
I
just
don't
Cody.
know. I don't know anything about Silvermoon.
Yeah, you've lost Silvermoon enough, so you know what you don't like.
Yeah, everything.
Everything and double.
Anything that I ever play, Cody's like, I hate it.
So
look at
Jace, do you want to go next, or
Yeah, I
should
can go.
I? Okay, so then I will toss your theme up. Jason, of course, has taken
The Traveling Show, which is where I came in.
signature.
I think GwtG is the only model that I could care less about.
True, GwtG kind of is not.
He's overcosted.
Yeah, for what he does. So Traveling Show, this is the theme that comes in the starter box, or
Yes.
what comes in the prepackaged starter box, not like the GCT web store exclusives where they kind of like build your own bundles.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Traveling Show's theme, in the starting phase, choose an enemy model and it must make a challenge key test of 6 or gain an impetuous marker. This is huge.
Yay!
This is awesome, and I have used the hell out of this.
And extra inside information that only is negated if they make the test. Hooray!
Yep.
It's so annoying.
It's annoying and it's awesome. And then second thing that you get, or benefit that you get from the theme, is during the starting phase, one friendly model gains a luck token whenever a friendly model is within 6 inches, makes a fear test, attack roll, defense roll, damage roll, or opposed key test roll. The model may spend 1 token and reroll 1 of the dice. So it's basically you get a luck token, and luck tokens are huge and they're always awesome in Silvermoon. The only exclusion you can have in this is that you can't take any of the roses. So that pretty much shuts out all of the fun roses to use, which kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, you can make do without it.
Yep.
But it does suck because I'm not gonna lie, I would take Setsuko if I could.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Especially when you're getting a free inside info every turn.
Oh,
yeah. Well, again, you got to make a key test, but
still,
9 times out of 10, you're going to go with a crappy model go first, because some other key model, some other big hitter or whatever is going to do something right out of the gate.
Model with tireless, model with
more models with tireless.
Damn monkey.
Even if you just use it on an enemy 1 key model to try and ensure that you get it, and they just go sets up them for failure. So
yeah.
It just gets into my opponent's mind that they're not controlling their models; they're my models.
Pretty much. That's the story of playing against Jason.
That's most Silvermoon players.
Yes. All right. So what makes up this list?
So start my list. I took GwtG in this list because he's worth it.
Because F you.
No, that's
because Jason doesn't want to make friends at conventions, apparently.
Okay, I could have taken Fuku, and that would have been so much more interesting.
Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah,
but that's still pretty bad.
So we talked in depth about GwtG and why we like him, and I also gave him 2-headed coin because I want him abusing fortune as much as I can, to just get him as much key as he can to do as much fortune's favor as possible. And just for 2-headed coin, Basically, whenever I flip a coin, if it flips tails, you can use while I'm using the fortune straight. I can basically burn the card and I can count it to use heads instead.
Yeah, that's a once per game. So
Yeah, it's
he
once
only
per
gets
game though.
one and done, because once you use that two-headed coin,
It goes away.
everybody knows.
Yep.
And so I know we've talked about him a lot in the last episode. So for those of you who are jumping in on this episode, listening to the top 3 episode on this guy, because he was all of our number ones.
Yep, he is.
He controls all the rerolls, controls pretty much all the dice in the game when he uses Fortune's Favor, and having Tactician is huge. And then if I really need to like go hit for this, or if I need to swing for the fences, having Cheat Fate's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everything he has is pretty good. He just needs a lot of favor or a lot of key to be able to do things. He's a key hog, absolutely.
Definitely, but I mean, if I can benefit from using Fortune, then it works on me. I mean, the other week I got my ass handed to me because I relied a little too much on Fortune, but you still have a pretty good chance of completing it, especially with his buddy who's backing him up. My number 2 or my next model in this list, Cade at 12 points.
Shocking.
This list is going to sound kind of
everybody's favorite Kabuki.
Yep, the Kabuki man.
It's the only Kabuki
so far.
So Cade, we talked about him pretty good in our last episode as well. As an honorable mention, his main role in this list is to heed my word to advance people up the board if I need to move people around or draw people into me. But then part 2 is for as long as I can keep him with his reflip ability. If I miss my coin flips for his special Kabuki themes, I think it's Ha, which is Joe begins the game. Each model using the fortune trait may reflip the coin in the starting phase of any turn. So that has saved me a lot. I know in Adepticon that saved my ass a lot of times, where having that extra flip to make sure I get that key.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty much there as kind of like he's there to screw with opponents, to kind of draw people out of position that I need them to, and then to also use the coin reflip to make sure that I improve my odds of getting additional key. And also, again, the one big thing that I guess I can say, this is just more of a way to kind of help those who maybe struggle with him. If you're worried about the reflip being a bit of a big deal, if you have access to control, if you throw a control marker on him towards the end of the turn when you would get him the following round, you can force his state from Joe to Ha. So he'll lose insignificant and slow, but in some cases, people would be more than happy to get rid of that, depending on the game, to get rid of that fortune reflip. Because if you get it early enough, then there are some people where it's like it definitely reduces your odds, where it's like, do I really want to go for the flip or not? Or if I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to have to play the game clean cut now.
Yeah. All right, so Cade helps you get key. Helps you get key.
So the next model in my list shouldn't be a shocker to anybody. It's our Lord and Savior Wasapu with lucky number 8.
Woo! So I'm going to show lucky number 8 first, Jay, so you could explain it. And then...
Lucky number 8 is what really, I mean, when they designed this card, it was like, this card is like meant for Wasapu. It could go on your normal like crossbow guys, but no, it's just meant for Wasapu. Mm-hmm. So when this card is attached to a model and rolls the result of exactly a 7, any modifiers for any modifiers for any test, instead I get to count the final result as 8. So this is always huge for me on shooting, but then again, this also does matter for melee if you get to that point, or any other of the abilities too. So if you don't take it on Wasapu and you decide to take it on a different model, any 7 result that they're rolling, you're treating that as an 8, which is huge.
Opposed key feat.
Yep, opposed key feat, melee, damage roll, I think also too, because it's if you roll any, it's
a test.
Oh yeah, it's a test. Never mind then. So that one wouldn't count because damage roll.
It's a damage test, though.
It's a damage roll. It's not a damage test.
Unfortunately, they decided to actually name that just a roll instead of a test. Otherwise, yes.
So when you roll somebody, it's not a test.
This. I just really enjoy this, and for 1 rice, it's really a no-brainer. And the reason why it is so favorable on Wasapu is Wasapu's only 11 rice, so going up to 12 again, that's perfectly fine. He's still very, very bang for your buck.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, Wasapu brings the pain in buckets.
Yep. The next model that I took was 2 Kyokuhan nunchuck dudes.
Oh, okay. Just showing Wasapu really quickly. So
Cody went over these guys. If I can try to get 2, before I would only play with 1, but after kind of just playing more and more and just kind of seeing the benefit of like, oh, what could I do if I had 2 of these guys? I really try to get 2 of them in here. I mean, for 16 rice, that's almost the price of some like medium support models or just medium kind of models.
Surprising GwtG.
Yeah. I mean, it's pricing GwtG too. That's the reason why a lot of people
Wow, it's a
are
lot
not
of
a big
GwtG
fan.
hate.
I want to like GwtG, but GwtG is a bit overpriced, especially when you have this as an option. So I mean, they're my mooks. They can go and take idols. They can go and distract people, get in the way, go lend support if I need to. Also, I always like try to remind people chain weapon is awesome because it does mitigate parry and shields. So
Yeah.
those models are like, I have parry 1. Well, guess what? I have a chain weapon. Oh crap!
So you don't. F
You have nothing. You're a normal fighter now.
Up yours, children.
Pretty much.
I mean, I guess GwtG has chain weapon too, but
Oh, I mean, GwtG
Well,
hits
then he
like a
could
truck.
then he
but
can negate Satoshi when Satoshi has the bonus and he's at parry too.
yeah, who
that's
takes
just
Satoshi?
Who has 2 thumbs and takes Satoshi sometimes? This guy. Gotta get the thumbs in shot.
Why did?
But-
Never mind.
Why do I lose at most Grandmasters tournaments? I don't know.
But the Kyokuhan, I love these guys. They're very versatile, like Cody mentioned, so they can cover pretty much all your scenario bases, and you're pretty much covered. You're pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The next model that I picked is actually my most expensive one. I took a Malusi at 22.
Malusi, big M. All right. So, why did you take Malusi?
So I took Malusi because I wanted to do some hitting power, and I didn't want to just basically recreate my list from Adepticon.
Yeah, well, there's that.
I was gonna say, where's Oda and Tatalo?
I was thinking about it.
He's expanding his horizons. Leave him alone.
So I like Malusi a lot, but there's still some. Malusi's really good in my opinion, but he is definitely attack oriented. So if he gets in situations where he needs to like get out of a situation that doesn't involve him having to like try to kill someone, it doesn't work out as well for him. But with 3 dice in melee and 4 speed and 2 key range, we don't care about. He's a normal fighter like all the other Butos, but having brutal 1 is huge because not all the Butos have them, especially the defensive ones.
Mm-hmm.
He has pretty much all your standard Buto abilities: endurance, fear 4, fortune. He's immune to prone, so he can be pushed around, unlike like Manu or Yokozuna.
Mm-hmm.
And then intimidate is always a fun ability to use if I need to like stop as like almost like a safeguard measure.
If you
that
remember
way he doesn't
it.
get shot, yeah. And it's still an opposed key test, so there's not 100% guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
Steadfast, he'll be going into combat with someone, even if he fails his fear check, and he's tough 1. So those are all pretty much good things. His key feats, though, are what really make him kind of nasty. Crushing Blow, which is awesome. Model's weapon gains brutal +1, so he becomes brutal +2. And then he also gets Pierce 2.
That's nice.
For the activation. So I'm stripping through whatever armor is there, and I have brutal 2 on top of that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I will be getting my +4. It's only like really the Minimoto models or some of the Ryu Samurai are really kind of like, okay, I'm okay with that. Or, well, I'm sort of okay with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that strips I'm either down to half or down to 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Savage Beating is nice. Getting access to combo 0. It's one of the few ways actually Silvermoon can get access to combo, which everybody's new favorite friends, the skeletons.
Anything with durable.
Anything with durable, really. So having access to something with somebody who can use combo is nice. And then along with Malusi, just because I know I've done it. Or wait, what did I give him? Oh no, I scratched out. I made a switch. I also gave him Arashi Span just to protect him from range. Otherwise, I think I originally given him Vial of Rajan's Breath because I've done that before where I've just flown him across the board and people are like, oh wait, he can do that, and then he just wrecks havoc.
Flying fat man.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, so I mean, you could pick and choose if you're wanting to try to kind of go for an all-comers. Taking Arashi Span isn't necessarily a bad choice. Otherwise, you can take Vials of Rajan's Breath, and that's loads of fun too. It's just you do kind of have to watch it because, at least in this particular list, he is kind of, there's not a lot of hitting power in some case, so it's definitely trying to get your opponent out of activations first to try to capitalize on it, and then trying to definitely play more to scenario than going for the wipe. So if you lose Malusi, depending on who you fight against, it could be a definitely uphill slog from there.
Yeah, the one thing and I've seen it on a few other figures, and I don't, not necessarily a fan. So Savage Beating's great because it gives you combo 0, but it's a figure that already has combo attack 1. So I'm paying 2. I guess it's helpful because that way I'm not spending 3 to get the 4th die. So it's some rice conservation, but it's almost to the point where you really would like to have some other ability because it's just making me pay to get the reduction cost. And again, and
I would be scared if he was able to get like powerful attack, because if he had enough key to get crushing blow with powerful attack.
But the thing again, it could be powerful attack 0, but you put it as a 3 cost.
Mm-hmm.
And now, do I take a die or do I take powerful blow? You know, or powerful attack?
I'm definitely taking some powerful blow.
Well, I get it, but again, not that it's a bad thing, because again, from a standpoint of cost, it's cheaper to spend the 2 to be able to get combo 0.
Mm-hmm.
But you're kind of telegraphing it, or you're using it as a rope-a-dope dummy, but that's 2 rice to do that. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's not a bad thing. It's just one of those things that's kind of like, I could see how it could be better, but the problem is that, you know, one of your feet seems somewhat redundant, even though it's at a lower cost.
Yeah, I can get that. I understand that too.
Especially when he has Brutal 1. So if I have Brutal 1, I could go down to 2 dice, and I'm still essentially rolling 3.
Mm-hmm. And if you take him, if for some reason I decided to take a traveling show theme with Oda and Tontal, or just Oda, then his Virtue token would basically reduce his specials by 1, which then I'd be running combo 0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Savage Beating obsolete then.
Yeah, well, Savage, and again, now that I'm thinking about it more, Savage Beating is even a little more obsolete. So I'm going to rather spend 2 on Crushing Blow. That gives me Brutal +1.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm at Brutal 2. I'll spend the die. Now, granted, that means I'm probably going in with no defense. But if I'm attacking first, I'm now 2 dice, all in on attack. I'm guaranteed 2 because I'm Brutal 2, and then whatever I roll on the dice. And I'm combo.
It's a high gamble, but it's
a high gamble.
It could definitely work out.
It really, really is. So, I mean, it could. In my case, it would totally go against me the entire time. But you got to time your hit for it, right? I guess. So what it boils down to.
So the last Silvermoon model that I have before I start going into extra stuff, I took 2 Pit Dogs.
Shocking.
People who have watched the Battle Reports know my Pit Dogs as Chad and Rex.
I know him as dead and unkillable.
This is also true.
Sexy Rexy.
Never kill Rex.
So the Pit Dogs, I mean, they're nothing too much to write home about before. I mean, they used to be great arrow catchers until, again, they changed Insignificant. But for right reasons. So 2 melee, 4 speed, and 1 key. So they're basically 3-point missiles, or they're 3-point things just to kind of harass someone.
Speed bumps.
Yeah, basically speed bumps. They are light-footed, which is nice because that's a nice way to get in the way of someone. They also are tough 1. I don't know how many times that's saved my ass and frustrated people so much.
That's why one of them's unkillable.
Also, they're basically immune to poison and bleed 1, which is super nice. The other nice thing that the Pit Dogs do is when they are the activating model, model gains Fear 3, which I know Greg has failed definitely 1 fear check and a bravery roll.
Dude, I lost fucking Itsunagi to that stupid ass fighting chicken once.
That was in last edition.
One-shotted me.
Because of Last Stand.
Shotted me.
Stupid chicken.
Dumb. I haven't used a chicken in forever, but the Pit Dogs, I definitely like them. I definitely think that they're probably for the rumors of what are going to happen to a good chunk of like the Silvermoon animals to deal with what's the Silvermoon Circus, which honestly I've never played, but they're pretty sure that this would be part of it. They're probably going to get round up in that group activation, and it will reduce their effectiveness a little bit, but I would still take probably both of them. It's just that I'm for sure going to strip probably an activation off of one model versus they'll be able to kind of harass people and go around and do stuff.
Yeah, they'll be less effective than they are now. Right now, everybody's using them for 4 activations. You'll get 2. You know, it is
And
what it
they're
is.
not going to get the outnumbering bonus because they're insignificant. So it's a little bit of a tougher sell on these guys, but they can at least still exhaust a model in one go.
Yeah, they could do that.
So I still think that there's value to take to them, especially since it's only costing me 6 rice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So then we get into events and special stuff. So
Okay.
I mentioned earlier that the insider information for this, or not the insider information, the impetuous marker that you get every turn is kind of important to this. So I took 3 insider informations because basically, depending on the type of scenario that you're playing, you can basically throw out 8 to 9 impetuous or 8 to 10 impetuous markers in a game. That's huge because you're very well effectively dictating how your opponent's using their models.
Yeah, just to correct you really quick. So with the theme, you at the start of a turn, you can make someone take a test, and if they fail, they'll get the impetuous. So it's not
marker.
automatic, but
there's a good chance.
When you play against Jason, it's automatic.
I mean, it's the key challenge 6 test, so even on a 2-key model, it's around a 50-50 shot that model's going to get the impetuous marker. Most of the key 1 models, they're probably going to get it.
Key 1 models will probably end up getting the marker. Key 2, less likely.
Yeah, but the insider information is also kind of like an insurance policy too. As I've mentioned, how I like to use it. If I lose tactical rolls, even with GwtG with Tactician, it'll still force the model to go that I want to go. If for some reason the model that I wanted to do the impetuous test actually succeeds, I'm still throwing an impetuous marker on them. It just is going to cost. It's just I'm not going to. These ones are just my automatic ones. So what I tend to like to do is I like to double up. So whoever I put the impetuous marker on, if it's worth it, I'll throw 1 insider information on them to make sure I exhaust that model first, especially my tireless models that I don't like fighting against, which definitely puts me in a better position. But otherwise, it's the insider information after kind of understanding how to use it correctly. I've definitely probably leaned on it more than I like to admit to, but it's definitely worth it, especially at 1 a pop. You can take 3 of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, what's next?
Item 2 was Hotai's Blessing. This is another one that I'm not gonna lie, I really find it difficult not to take this card in just about every list that I take. Yes, I have GwtG to do the rerolls, but on the turn that I do Hotai's Blessing, that just helps reserve key for me. So that's definitely it saves me key. So I don't mind paying the 2 rice to overall save my to save GwtG all the extra key I can for like some of those more critical moments, or if I really need something to go one way or the other.
Well, and if you roll, if you're like me and roll 3 1s on tests all the time, this is a great way to not have to spend any key to re-roll 3 dice. So you know, it's worth it for 1 turn to be able to have that safety, especially and you may also be outside of GwtG's
bubble.
Okay,
let's see. Next one I took was Dark Secrets. Cody went over that. Just a nice option if I need to try to take control of a model, even if it's a 2-key model. It's always fun to be able to try to take control of an enemy model and either move them out of position, do something that they just weren't wanting to do. Just more control aspect of the game. After that, I'll go with my next Silvermoon card. So I took In the Hands of the Kami, and that's mainly for Wasapu. If you have a model just in general with lucky number 7, it's definitely worth taking In the Hands of the Kami. I mean, you could technically always take it because it's a 0 rice card. But just so everybody knows why it's 0 rice, especially for our newer listeners, you play this card before dice are rolled for any test by a friendly model. You guess what the final result will be of your roll. If you're correct, you get to add 1 key token to that friendly model, and then the card goes away. So if you have lucky number 8s, it increases your probability that you're going to end result as an 8, because even if you roll 7, you treat it as an 8. So then you get the benefit of the key to that particular model.
Yep.
You could take it anywhere else, and if you just like guessing probabilities, or this is the fun way of just like mini gambling, you can just kind of be like, I think I'm going to roll this and see where it goes at that point. But typically, I don't even really bother, even though I could. I don't really bother taking this card unless if I have a model that's got lucky number 8 in the army.
Again, it's zero cost, and there's no downside to it.
Mm-hmm. So it's just
No brainer to take.
If you're playing this cycle deck.
Yeah, that's true too.
That is true. So in the new cycle, it might not be playable.
This is also true. So
you just have to pick and choose which cycle deck.
That's true.
Well, a tournament could be cycle specific.
Yeah.
So
Run it that way.
If the judge is a dick like that, yeah.
It's 2023, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, if I took this card, I'd guess Snake Eyes, and I'd get a key every turn.
Well, you only get it once.
I know. Every time I use it.
Oh.
That's my favorite thing to roll.
Oh, actually, I totally skipped over a card. So I did actually take Shrewd Negotiations in this list. I'm trying to incorporate this card a little bit more. And this was after also getting my ass kicked by one of our players at the store when I was trying to use Blood Brothers. And it's like, yeah, you probably should take this card. I'm like, yeah, I just don't take it as often because I don't want to say I get screwed by it, but there are some cases where it's like it doesn't come up where I need to use it.
Somebody doesn't take an event card, yeah.
There's that too. So Shrewd Negotiation, when an opposing player uses an event card that's costing X or less rice, you may immediately play this card and cancel that event card. The event card is discarded just as if it had taken effect. So in this case, I took it at 2 because it's 2 - 1. So basically, I can affect rice cards of 3 or less for this effect.
So you paid 3 rice?
2 rice.
So it would only
2 rice minus it. So you'd only be able to affect 2 rice.
Because if you pay 3 rice,
but the trick is it's 3 - 1. It only costs you 2.
Yeah, that's why it's so weird.
It's
if you pay the 3
confusing
rice,
as hell.
it only costs you 2 technically, but you can affect 3 or less.
Right.
So I'm paying. So overall, I'm paying 3, even though
you're paying 3, even though you're getting 1 back.
Right.
Okay.
The end result is 2 rice total.
Okay. So
if you're spending it, but if you didn't pay the
3,
3, you're going to end up.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. So regardless, I'm still getting it. So yeah, I guess then mathematically wise, and my list would still be good then, because otherwise I know I'd just drop it if I needed to. So yeah, I would be basically buying it at 3 rice, which would effectively overall be 2, which means I could cancel cards out from 3, 2, or 1 event level event cards.
Correct.
And getting up to 3 rice event cards, like I mean, the big one that always comes up that I see is the Fog of Your Eye, which is a good one to cancel. Otherwise, there starts to get some other good ones. Warrior, that's another one. Hotai's Blessing, if you get into it.
Minimoto, canceling out of just
Blizzard.
a scratch.
Or just
a scratch. Blizzard. There's a lot of event cards where it's
Villagers, any trap.
Yep, you can cancel out 1 snare out of their million.
Yeah.
Jikoku berries for
KKZ. Yeah.
Or Smoke Bomb in some of those cases, depending on when they use it. Or it forces them to use another one, which that's fine.
Yeah.
So
I
Shrewd
hate
Negotiation.
Their smoke grenades, smoke bombs.
Shrewd Negotiation, I've been trying to use a little bit more, but I also just don't sometimes. But it's definitely a nice card. It's the biggest holdup is that there are some factions that you may play against that they're like, I don't really rely on event cards, so then it's just like, crap. Well, I just kind of spent this for no reason.
Yeah, but even at a net cost of 2,
it's not the end of the world.
I would rather take it as that
A safety
insurance policy against those abilities that you really don't want to face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could pay 2 rice in any faction basically to cancel an event card, I'm most likely taking that.
That's also true. Let's see. Next thing that I took Preordained. I like this one.
Cancel that card too.
Yeah, actually, I would cancel Preordained also.
No.
So Preordained. This one's a long read, but so before deployment, you roll 2d6. Note down the dice's value. At any point in the game, when either player makes a roll before the dice are rolled, you may substitute one of the d6. The value is set and cannot be re-rolled. That's huge. Or substituted again. Any other dice that are rolled or re-rolled and substituted by other effects as normal, this card is then discarded.
That's after you use both the dice.
Yeah.
So not just one.
Yep. So I've come to really appreciate this after having some less than pleasant dice rolls where Greg rolls, oh crap for this. Like, I guess what, Jason, now you know how I feel.
Yeah.
Dice. And having those slotted into me. Or it is nice to be like, oh, I rolled really well at the beginning of the game, so I have a die that I can bank off of, whether that's a need to use it for like a tactical roll or damage roll or an attack or a post key test. It's nice to bank those dice. There are some values that are more obvious than others, but I mean, regardless, you can still figure out a way to use some of those dice one way or the other.
Yep, I am a big fan of preordained. If you roll a 1 and a 6, that's the best option you can have, or heck, even 2 1s or 2 6s, because either you're going to be using those 6s at some point or using those 1s against your opponent. Everything else in between is iffy. I will say being able to use it on damage rolls. If your opponent rolled really high success level and you've got like a 2 and you're like, well, 2 still actually gives them points. Well, yeah, but I'll use it on his damage roll. So the best that they could get is an 8 instead of rolling that 12 on something. So yeah, it's very useful. I like it.
I'm not a huge fan of it, but that's usually because of the way I build my list. I don't have 3 points for it.
It's an expensive card.
Yeah,
it's a great card. I know I recommended it to Art's son because he had some points left over for his list, and he was playing Prefecture at Adepticon, and he's like, I've never used this card before, but it was great. And he had a blast because he was able to, critical strike the crap out of people and whatnot.
Yeah. There you go. That's always fun.
It's always so preordained. I mean, at least me and Greg are big fans of it. Last thing that I took with my 1 rice, that would have been just my flex at this point if I was over at some point. I just took Rice Bell Barricade.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mobile cover to help Malusi if I need it. Otherwise, it's just good just to mess with my opponent. To maybe block up a lane for them going up into the board, or
block up one of those 4-inch zones.
Yep, block out one of the 4-inch zones. That's a big one.
Cover.
That's the big thing. As I mentioned, cover is usually cover for like Malusi. So that's my traveling show theme. It's very similar to what I did, and that was kind of almost by accident, to my like Adepticon list. So there's definitely some ways that you can do it. But the nice thing with traveling show is it's so damn open that you really can try anything with it. And you're usually really good. And I probably am a little heavy on the events, but Silvermoon just in general, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Next to ninjas, it's not necessarily like, oh, you shouldn't be really spending this amount over in events and other stuff. Silvermoon's kind of like, yeah, you can do it, and you're usually going to you're rewarded for it.
You're still going to have 6 to 8 models. If you do things right, you're still going to have 6 to 8 models, and you're still going to have a decent amount of points, anywhere from 8 to 10 points to spend on events, and those events are gold.
That's I was going to say. Basically, every Silvermoon list I've ever written, for the most part, has always started with like 8 to 10 rice in events, and then I add models.
Yeah. You're designing around your events to a certain degree.
So and I mean, overall with the theme box and everything that came in it, it's really good. You get Dapukaya, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You get Hanoko, Olzo, the leopard.
The leopard's really good. I like that leopard.
Leopard is good.
It's a pain in the ass.
You don't get Shinosuke. I'm trying to remember who else you get.
Well, you did get Shinosuke.
You
get Shinosuke.
That's such a weird one that you would get Shinosuke in.
Mm.
So, I mean, the models that come in it, I mean,
you're going to find use for
worth it. And then also, I mean, that's where you also get lucky number 8, hint, hint. If you need to get that card, if you don't just print them off, if you don't print them offline.
Yeah.
Like I did for lucky number 8, or not lucky number 8, for In the Hands of the Commune, when I was asked, why do you not take this? Because it didn't come off the printer yet.
Because, I didn't.
Yep, pretty much. I'm just taking a look now just to see what's... Oh, yeah, so Shinosuke does come in the box. So, I mean, Shinosuke is fun, too, in his own right.
Shinosuke, again, there's the Silvermoon makes it and I've said this before to new players, if you want to dictate what your opponent is going to do for most of the game, you play Silvermoon.
Mhm.
Whether it's Impetuous, whether it's Shinosuke stopping their action, whether it's old Zoe taxing them, because they, I'm only going to spend this amount of key to be able to pull this off. Fuck you! You just spent more key and you gave it to me. Thanks a bunch.
Yep.
It's
if you want your opponent to table flip.
Fuku.
Oh look, I got 3 6s. Well, yeah, but Harakichi's got 3 key. Bang, bang, bang. Reroll them.
Oh, I don't know if that's more frustrating, or I'm not gonna lie. The one time I used Fuku, and when I was playing at the store, and I was just like, a coin flip. I'm gonna do all in coin flip. I take nothing. Yeah, that was definitely a rough one there. I think that's a bigger fuck you than.
Well, that's a bigger FU coming from
his name.
That's how I got his name. Yeah, no kidding.
So I mean, there's a bunch of different ways just to get, and I think that's almost kind of like that's part of the reason why I don't like playing Silvermoon, where it's like I try to be really nice about it because I know my history with my dice, and I just feel really guilty, and I'm like, I only know that I'm feeding into it, where it's like especially with other people, where it's like it's almost like a mind thing. Where at this point, where it gets to a certain point where it's like, son of a bitch, I just literally can't win. I literally think this person is cheating to an extent.
Yeah, no, it can be, but then I've seen those games where we've played them and your dice have been average.
Or all my luck definitely goes away, and it's just like, yeah, no, this is the turn. This is the game that you're asking.
This is the turn where it all comes around and Daddy's gonna win. Yeah,
pretty much. So I mean,
never mind.
It can be that way, but I mean, especially how they keep on adding more things to improve the probability of you succeeding in a lot of these things. I understand where some people are like, yeah, no, I don't want to deal with the Silvermoon in general.
Target priority. Who do I kill first? The Silverback. No.
The Silvermoon player.
Yeah.
No, murder is never the answer.
Follow through.
Always follow through. All right. So that is Traveling Show. One of the reasons I do like this theme so much, aside from some of the benefits it gives, aside from the fact that you can't use roses, which I think is kind of lame, but that's all right. I understand why. I understand why.
It's like access to some of those roses with this stuff.
You can choose anything that Silvermoon offers. So that makes it really kind of awesome.
And it's a nice training mechanism too, because then you can at least practice with some of those support models. Because I'm not gonna lie, especially when I started Silvermoon, I took way too much support models, and I was it's so hard not to. I'm in a problem here, guys, because my one model went down way easier than I thought it. Now I have a bunch of support guys. Like, what do we do? It's basically like taking on a raid without a tank at that point. It's like, can we all heal each other to succeed in this?
And the answer is no.
Yeah,
the answer is always yes.
So that's Traveling Show. So that means I'm up because this faction is one of those that does have 4 themes.
So the non-Silvermoon expert's talking about 2.
It's all right. It's all good.
That's enough. And honestly,
but the last one is pretty straightforward. Anyway, I got the one.
The last one's going to be the fastest.
Oh yeah.
But I got the one that I think is the toughest.
Oh yeah.
Is the Jade Rose Gumi. This is I will say playing against Jason because it's kind of obvious. We have our meta of 2. This is the one that he struggles with the most.
It is. I don't want to say it's the limited to what the models are, but it is it is to the effect. If for some weird ass reason they gave me access to Defokaya, I could make this work, but I've struggled altogether with it.
So I think the reason that the Jade Rose Gumi is so hard is because all the other themes, to a certain degree, you're taking some beaters and you're kind of pushing people out of zones and you're trying to keep, and beating them off of objectives and swarming them with numbers and things like that. Now, you can do this with this theme. You can swarm things. But the trick is this one, you're not really beating models down. You're not beating them away from things. You're luring them away. You're drawing away. You're keeping them from doing what they want to do. Now, if they want to come and beat your face,
then
to a certain degree, there you have some things to mitigate it, but it makes it a little harder to do. But This theme makes you play to scenario, because trying to defeat them by pure force and wiping them off the board is not really going to happen, because as you're going to see by the permitteds, you really don't have a high level beater. You do have a lot of models that will screw with your models and pull them in different directions. And even then, that's kind of iffy because it's a lot of opposed key tests. And the way that the game has gone a lot, depending on the faction you play, I would say Bakemono are a little off on that. Silvermoon can be different, but you're seeing a lot more people playing with 2 key models. So being able to pull off some of these tricks is harder to do.
And
That being this is a theme that you could have a lot of fun with, and I'll have to admit the models in this theme are really kind of they're probably some of the nicest models out there. Attractive models, I would say, except for one, which you'll know which one that is when I
there's two.
my list. There's 2. So the Jade Rose Gumi theme, what does it consist of? Well, the first bullet point on it is friendly Rose models gain flank. So any Rose models that I have in my list will now be able to flank on the board. So that's kind of cool. Will help me to either A, get them up the board, B, it gets them up the board so they can start doing their shenanigans. More importantly, as your opponent is moving up the board to go and engage zones, get to higher point value objectives, I can now come and pull them in a different direction or pull them away from that. Another bonus that friendly Rose models get is they gain disguise +1. So all Rose models except one have disguise. And typically it's disguise 5, although in the case of Haname, it's disguise 6. So now those suddenly jump to 6s and 7. This is really good, especially when you couple it with flank, or even if you just have them in the middle, in keeping them alive. First, disguise, for those who are new to the game, disguise means that if you're going to try to take any kind of action, oppose key feet, move into base to base with them, or shoot the model with disguise, 1 key models just can't, period. They can't see through the disguise. So that pretty much eliminates them from being able to do something until something removes disguise, either the model that has disguise does an action, scenario action, a melee attack, or there's something else that they have to do.
They do, it's pretty much any action that's
Charge.
Outside of a key, any action that's outside of a key feat.
And by key feat, it could be a simple action key feat, so they could still do that and not lose disguise. So either the model that has disguise willingly does something to lose disguise, or a 2 key model identifies them. And by identifying them, you're going to declare an action. So let's say somebody, Masunagi wants to go and beat the crap out of one of the Roses. He's going to have to make a key challenge in this theme of 6, we'll say. A key test of 6. If he makes it, then he can move into base and beat the shit out of her. If he fails, he loses the activation and he's done. So really very powerful in helping them keep them alive. And then the +1 increases their normal 5, which is not that great, to a 6, which becomes somewhat of a challenge for 2 key models. Not always, but can be. But there's ways to kind of help that. Then, during the starting phase, the last bullet point for the Jade Rose with Gumi, during the starting phase, choose an enemy model that it makes a key challenge test of 6. If it fails, I get to change the facing.
This one's the big one. I like this.
That's the big one, because that could line you up with backstrikes. It could turn them away from objectives. It's just a lot of different things that you could do to set things up. And again, it's free, so great. And I try to take advantage of this to a certain degree with the models that I've put in the list. Now, the big downside of it is what is permitted. So you're only permitted 3 types of models in the list. You're permitted Shaite, you're permitted Roses, and you're permitted Kami. Right now, that means Kami, you're only being able to take Rocky, because I think that's the only Kami available in Silvermoon.
Correct.
Not a bad model, but it doesn't open the doors to a whole bunch of other things. So you're really kind of doing Shaite and you're doing Rose. So what did I take to build my list out? Good question.
Good question, but I don't care.
Exactly. So I started with roses. I figured if you're going to be playing the Jade Rose Gumi, you're going to build your list around roses. So I have 4 roses in my list, and the
Okay.
first one just happens to be in alphabetical order. I went for the low, and I will say I did go for low cost roses because I wanted to get numbers in this list. What that means is I did not take Haname. Haname is really good, but she's 20 rice.
I see. I always hear people like talk down on Haname and I get why. I mean, she is a little pricey for what she does, but I still find her very useful. I still find her very good.
Very, very good. Very, very good. It's just
she's pricey. If she was
pricey,
if she was 18, I think I would find it more justifiable to take her. But then that almost makes her too good. I think.
I think she's the one that I don't really like the sculpt for.
I like the sculpt on her, but her sculpt is pretty basic. It's straightforward. The reason why I didn't take her is I don't know if I'd be able to do her justice because she really does have to make up her points. And then the one feat that she has, you have to have someone come into base to base with you to be able to do your key feat to put the control marker on them. As soon as one person does that first, they're just going to annoy her and shoot her to death. So, it's really hard to use her, in my opinion. Again, I'm a more straightforward guy, so this is playing this theme. Building a list for this theme is not my strong suit.
Well, Haname's got some protection because she should have innate range defense too, so she might get shot at a lot. But usually, what ends up happening is when she gets revealed, once one model gets her, then the second model that isn't going to get controlled, who's like the actual heavy hitter,
because once something goes base to base with her,
going to control her, or it's going to basically take her out.
And she doesn't have Indomitable, so party's over. So I took Ayami. She's 13 rice, 3 melee. I mean, she's pretty straightforward. 3 melee, 2 range, 2/6 on key, 5 movement, so she can move pretty damn fast. She's got a Tessin, so it's the fan, I believe, is the Tessin. She's not beating anything up, but she does have sidestep defense 0, so if she gets caught in combat, she can get out of it. Disguise 5, which in theme becomes 6. Dodge 1, so hard, a little more defensive. Evasive, she ignores zones. Jump up, so if you knock her down, she gets up again. Never going to keep her down. Light-footed and range defense 1. So all really good, really moving around the board, getting to where you want to be. And as your disguise, that's kind of important to do because she does have 2 key feats. And this is where the roses really shine because they could do their key feats. Oh, that's right. Excuse me. They could do their key feats without dropping disguise. So you really want to maximize that until such time as you cannot because someone's discovered you or you're flipping an objective because it's time to score points. So what are her key feats? So she has 2. She has Seduction and she has Allure. Seduction basically means that you're going to make a target stupid until the end phase. It's a simple key feat. It's a simple action, 2 key costs, target somebody at 6 opposed key feats. You can only do it once per turn. Stupid, I think, means they're not taking scenario actions.
No scenario actions and no complex actions too.
Right.
So that's
so they can't charge and they can't
focus
scenario actions. Can't focus. If they have any kind of key feats that require a complex action, they can't do that either.
Yep.
So really, really nice if you need to stop a model from scoring points. That's probably what you're going to use it for a bulk of the time. But if you're afraid of somebody charging something else and you get to go first, this will help you prevent that or give you a chance to try to prevent that, other than using other kinds of Silvermoon tricks. Then she has Allure. This is the one where, so enemy models in the aura that allocate dice to attack against this model in a melee exchange gain 1 control marker after the activation is complete unless the attack kills or removes this model from play. So basically, before something enters into combat with you, if they're within 6 inches, you cast Allure on them.
No. It's you cast it on herself.
Enemy models.
Yeah, it's base to base. Allure is weird, and honestly, I like what it does, but it choreographs it too much.
See, that's what's weird because it's.
It should be and they should change it.
Does she have an errata on her?
No, she doesn't have an errata. So what's supposed to happen is you put Allure up, and then you go send her into combat.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's why I think it's so dumb because it's absolutely
it's a simple action to do.
Yeah, that's why I like Allure for what it does, but it as a simple action it's pointless to make because it's basically she's going to go into a model and all she's doing is just effectively stripping one activation off of a model, because the one model that you're going into is 2, and then she'll be exhausted, and then that model will just retaliate and kill her. They'll have a good chance of killing her on the follow-up, even though she'll have the allure up for the following activation. If it was an active key feat, I think it would work better, because then at least you could put it up on yourself and then go into combat and actually do something more with it. But whenever she does it, at least in my opinion, how I've worked, and again, I could be wrong, but since it's a simple action, I'm fairly certain I have it right. She's basically having to use the one action, put a lure up on herself, move around, and it's basically like bug spray. It's supposed to be a little bit of a deterrent, but still most people are able to take her down without take her down without having to really worry about the ramifications of getting that control marker.
Well, yeah, so that's
or
that's
they'll
the
do their
part.
first action as, oh, I'll just do all defense 2. It's probably a model with sidestep. They'll get around her, and then, okay, in the back, and you're exhausted now, and I will kill you. So I'm not caring about the control marker.
It's great if you're using it against an aggressive model.
That's the only way that it works.
Aggressive and berserk models, and she's the closest model.
Yeah, that's the only way that this really works. Otherwise, like I said, unless if someone can correct us in the comments, allure to me is just...
Here's the trick is it's an aura. Does that mean that aura stays up for the rest of the turn? So anything that comes into that aura is going to do that? That's where I think this is just not well worded. Enemy models in the aura that allocate dice to attack against this model in a melee exchange gain 1 control marker after the activation is complete, unless the kill. So if I put it off as my first action, then anything comes within 6 inches of me or comes into base to base with me is going to get that control marker. That's nice. Now, granted, there's not a whole lot of aggressive berserk models that are going to do that, but.
And it's only, again, if they allocate dice to attack, so they could just basically defense on you.
Again, that's why you make them aggressive.
Yeah. If there's a way to throw out something to make some models aggressive, I think then she would be better. Maybe that's a model in pipe or something like that. But for right now, as it stands, it's a cool ability, but it definitely just telegraphs what she's doing. If there,
you put her, so So I guess the way I would probably use her then is if she's in a zone and you need to get her out of the zone, unless you have some kind of defensive mechanism like defensive push, defensive throw, you're going to have to actively push her out of the zone or kill her.
Mm-hmm.
So she becomes something of a zone
deterrent.
But she's got to put that up first. So, but that's, again, I wanted it cheap. It's kind of nice that she could go in the back zone, especially if you want to go, let's say it's Ryoto and you want to get that 3-point zone and you want to camp her in there and somebody's going to have to push her out. Those backline people probably aren't going to be able to handle her too easily.
Yeah, it's Kenmono and Ushi.
Well, yeah, that's whatever. I will allure her. So that was Ayami. The next rose that I took is Saki.
That was my favorite before Setsuko came out.
Yeah, Saki's really cool.
Saki's really good. 13 rice, 3 melee. She could boost it for 3 range, 5 movement, 2/6 on the key. She has an umbrella. And she could sidestep defense with that umbrella if she needs to. Disguise 5, dodge 1, jump up, evasive, light-footed. All the basic stuff, except she doesn't have range defense. So that kind of stinks. But whatever. And again, disguise 5 becomes disguise 6 in the theme. So again, kind of hard to pin down. What are her key feats? Well, that's kind of the important thing here. Distraction and lure. So, distraction, target enemy model must perform a key challenge test of 6. If it fails, I get to change the model's facing. Hooray! It's active, so I don't have to waste an action to do it. So that's kind of nice. So I can do that a lot. And it's not once per turn.
Yeah.
And it's not turn to face her, it's I change the model's facing, period. And stop.
Unless they're immovable.
Unless they're immovable.
That's okay. You can thank GCT for that one.
The next one, lure. This is the one where it means I'm going to use her probably to flank, and I'm going to have her go back line because I'm going to try to pull models away from the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
Target model and not in base to base with a friendly model gains an impetuous marker. Yay, more impetuous. Must declare, and it could be an impetuous not at the start phase too, so that's kind of cool. Must declare a walk action as its next activation. And it's a walk, so it's not a
melee
moving, it's not a come and kill you. They're just going to take a walk. and must move directly towards this model with its full move, so no moving 0. Changing its facing so that this model is in its line of sight. If unable to perform a walk action, it may activate without restriction. So don't immobilize the model that you're trying to have walk towards her. This effect expires in the end phase. So this is the one where you pull it. If you got a frontline guy and you want to pull them away from the front line, this is what you're using to do that. Pull it away from an objective, because you're turning it around, pulling it towards you, and now it's going to have to, and it's wasted an action to do that. Actually, no, it doesn't waste it. Oh yeah, because it's on its impetuous. So it's going to be the next model that goes. It's going to waste the action. It's going to walk towards it, and it's going to turn its back towards the front line. All things Silvermoon likes. We like that you're not going to be in the zone. We like that you're not getting that objective, and we like that you've turned your back to us because, well, now we know where to put the dagger. So she's, like I said, she's going to be my flanker. She's going to be the one that I'm going to toss out there and have her do the dirty work. She's definitely flanking. Ayami probably will too. I just don't know if I'll have them both on opposite sides or if I'll have them together to give each other cover. So, who is my third Rose? Well, I'm gonna go out of order. I've been going in point order so far, so I'm gonna mess with somebody. I'm gonna mess with people. I am going with everybody's favorite, and she made my top 3, Satsuko. Obvious reasons.
This model.
we've talked about her ad nauseum. I think she's everybody's favorite new Rose. She's 11 rice, so super affordable. She's not quite as bulky as the other Roses. You know, she hasn't been working out. And they're bulky in special ways, Jason.
Whoa.
Well, where are we at? Anyway.
Wow. Interesting. Real quick.
You know, but I now get extra actions, you know, because she has Invigorate. She has a Shiatsu, so she can remove conditions if I need certain conditions if I need to, like Berserk, Impetuous, Stun, Control. You know, and because she's agile and she's evasive, she can get to wherever she wants to get. Bonus, she's a Rose, so I could flank her. Mm-hmm. And her Disguise 5 now becomes Disguise 6.
I wouldn't flank her.
Yeah,
I probably won't. I probably have her on front line.
Yeah, I want her given extra activations right away.
Yep, that's what I will, and I have 2 candidates for it potentially. So I'm not going to go too much in depth on her, but she's going to be there. She is one of my 2 support models in this list, and her support is pretty obvious. She's giving out the Invigorate, and on the off chance that somebody that she's around, which is probably going to be my Shaite Mob, she's removing conditions from them, so that way she could do, you know, they could do what they need to do. All right, so that means that was a real quick model to talk about. Who is my last Rose? I said I had 4. And I will say she's probably the most experienced Rose out there.
And the ugliest.
Beauty is in the eye of beholder, okay? Or, as I like to say, beggars can't be choosers.
Damn, okay.
She should have blinding powder.
No. She's got a veil.
She's got a crystal ball, so I mean, she could probably blind someone with it.
I have taken Misao. 12-point Rose Saikao Komon. 1 melee. She ain't gonna be fighting. 3 range. No. I have no earthly idea why they gave her 3 range. But
because when they come up with black market guns, you're just gonna give her a gun. And
hell yeah.
Bam.
She moves 4. She's old, dudes. She moves 4. 2/8 on the key, and she can boost her key stat by 2. That's kind of awesome. Concealed weapon. Yeah, she's an old woman. She's got a knife. Of course she's going to conceal it. And eventually she's going to conceal heat because she's going to get a fucking gun if I can have my way about it. Oh, come along. I got a gun. I'm holding you up now. I don't know where that came from.
Under the veil.
I don't think she has that voice. She'd be like, okay, honey, you're going to rob me? All right. Hold on a second. Let me go in my purse. Oh, I got a gun. Who's the boss now? On your knees and give me your money. That's more of her voice. She's probably been smoking a lot of the cigarettes.
Pay old Rose $5.
Yeah, that's exactly right. She has bravery. I mean, she's old. She's seen it all. Willpower, 1. That's good. She's slow. She's weak. She's an old woman, people. She's not going to be fighting your battles. What she's going to be doing is screwing with your opponents, and that's what I'm trying to do. She's got three feats that I like them all. She also has a unique effect. First, I'm not gonna go with these in order. I'm gonna go with the one that I probably will use the least, which is prediction. It's two key active special. This model's controller's opponent, that's a mouthful, must declare which model they will choose as their next activating model. If the model becomes ineligible before it is chosen as the activating model, then another model can be chosen without restriction. Essentially, impetuous. Kinda. Except my opponent gets to choose. Because I just automatically do it. There's no opposed key test. I just do it. Am I going to use this that often? Probably not. But it's there. And anything that I don't have to make a dice roll for, so much the better. Second key feat, which this one is I probably will use, especially on those turns where I want to win initiative, which in many ways is all the time, but realistically it's going to be, well, when it's needed, is Future Sight. This model gains Tactician 1. Hooray! Extra die for rolling for tactical roll. Yay me! Until the end phase, which is kind of weird. So, but you could do instant before I think you roll a tactical roll.
Yeah, you can. You do. That's how I use it all the time.
I mean, that's how it's got to be used, I would think. Yeah. But here's the kicker. This is the kick in the balls for your opponent. Enemy models lose Tactician until the end phase. Oh, I've got Tactician too. I'm really awesome. I'm a Ryu guy and I'm really awesome. Yeah, no. I'm an old woman. Honey, you think you know tactics. I know the tactics. I'm messing with your head now. I'm owning space in there.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I want to go to a tournament and play this model now, just so I could talk the entire game in that voice. I will be hoarse as hell after I'm done with that first round, but it'll be so worth it.
We'll have to try as hard on the next ones.
So Future Sight, that's something I'll probably use. It may be not as often as I'd like because to be perfectly honest, I'm gunning for Curse Fate. And Curse Fate is a 3-key simple action target within 12 inches opposed key feat. Don't have somebody base to base. And unfortunately, I can only do it once per turn, but that's okay because it's really freaking expensive. Roll a number of d6s equal to 1 plus the success level of the opposed key test. That's kind of fun. Reroll ones and they've changed the wording on this, so basically you're basically making sure that whatever dice you roll, they have different values other than 1. Until the end phase, the target model considers any dice it rolls that match those for this feat to be a value of 1. So, if I'm lucky, let's say I'm going against Masunagi. So I'm going to be +1 already because I'm the active player, and I'm going to be rolling 2 dice and adding 1. Masunagi's just rolling 2 dice. I roll my 8. I know that's not likely because it's me rolling dice, but we'll just say I roll 8. He rolls 6. That means I'm rolling 3 dice. I'm gonna make 3 dice, 4 dice rolls that he could get. 1 plus whatever the hell I roll now all become a value of 1 whenever he takes any actions during the next turn. So I'm really gonna be messing with him. I'm really gonna make him hamstrung, especially if I get that 6. Oh, if I get that 6, so cool.
Well, no, it does that. So it. Just to make sure, you roll however many dice you're rolling is however much you win the opposed key feat.
+1.
+1. Yeah.
So if I win it by 2, I'm rolling 3 dice.
3 dice, yeah. And then re-roll any doubles, so you don't.
Re-rolling any doubles that come up, and then also making essentially of the 3 dice that I roll, they can't be 1, and they can't be the same value. They have to be a different value. So I could roll 2, 3, 4, or any. You get the idea.
Yeah.
You're really hoping for 4, 5, 6.
I'm really hoping for 4, 5, 6. Abso-freaking-lutely. For 3 key, you better damn well I'm hoping for that. So you're pretty much hamstringing 1 model for that turn. It's pricey. And the one downside on this list is I don't have a way to pump models with key. So that's kind of rough. Unique effects. This model suffers wounds from an enemy model's ranged. When this model suffers wounds from an enemy model's ranged or melee attack, that model gains 1 spirit block model. Honey, you think you're attacking me? Yeah, you're gonna feel bad about it.
She dies.
I mean, she basically goes Jedi spirit on her.
She
I'm
just
gonna haunt
poofs
you.
into dust.
That's pretty much all she is dust. She's held up by dust and a lot of makeup.
Cigarette smoke.
Yeah, a lot of cigarette smoke.
She should be the commie of Old Rose.
That's gonna be the model I make. You strike me down, and I only will become more powerful and annoying. Look at what you're doing. Why? Look at your life. This is all you're doing. You're running around, flipping idols, and standing in zones while you're waving your katana around. Why couldn't you be like old Zoe? He brings home the bacon. Anyway, this I don't see a lot of people. I hear lots of different things with this model. I hear people love this model or they hate this model.
Hate it.
Hate it as a model to use as, or you hate it when she actually gets Cursed Fate off?
Well, both. I mean, Cursed Fate sucks. Like in a good way for who's using it. It's rough to play against because anything that makes your dice ones. I mean, Temple's just like, okay, cool. I've Kata.
Yeah,
at least that's a 3.
So.
You know, like
I ignore
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it still sucks to roll 1s with them, but it
at least you can
hurt
stack
as
on
much. Yeah.
And now I don't know if I would have her. And I'm almost tempted to have her flank, and I'm almost tempted to have her flank really late, like turn 3, come in, because then she's socked away 3 key. She's socked away 6 key. I mean, and so that way she could pull off. She could do a couple different things with when she has the 6 key. She could do Curse Fate and give herself an extra die, so she's rolling 3 plus 1. So that makes her somewhat formidable. She could be towards the back line. So I'm gonna go stand in this zone in the back and get 3 points for you. Come on, honeys. You're back here. Ayami, come here. Come to grandma. You're gonna support me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she would be a good when I've tried using her, I've tried flank, but also I've also had really bad matchups where it's just like, damn, I just paid 12 points for a model that's just giving me tactician now.
Right. Now I will say
I
did add 1 piece of equipment to her.
Oh, okay.
Did
you? I'll see what you gave her, but I think I know what you gave her.
Actually, it's an enhancement. I added disguise to her.
Okay.
So she begins the game with a disguise 5 marker, which becomes disguise 6.
That makes her a little bit more survivable for sure.
Yep. That makes it wonder if I'm really gonna. It's 2, but I think it's worth it in this case because again, I'm protected from 1 key models from picking her off at range. Mm-hmm. I'm forcing 2 key models to potentially lose an activation to spot her and do something. And I could still do all of my fun key feats without sacrificing my disguise. So, and believe me, that Curse Fate key feat, you want to stop her doing that right away if possible. And again, a 12-inch range on a 2-foot board. You're covering a lot of ground with that. Now I could have her go up with a Shaite mob, or I could have her flank. So I'm still up in the air on that. I'm going to have to test that out.
I think with the disguised, I would rather keep her on the board.
It gives me that option. Mm-hmm. It does.
Unless you're going to bring her in turn 2. If you don't disguise her, then I would flank her like turn 3, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I thought about putting the disguise marker on a different model, and I'll explain who that is later. That's in this list, but yeah, even when I flank, I don't mind having disguise on her because, again, depending on where I come in, I may have targets. I may have targets around me that can't do squat because I can't spot her,
right?
Or, I might have something that does, and I'm probably not going to have her go in by herself. She's probably going to go in with another Rose that's flanking. So. That's the idea behind it. But her thing is to disrupt, give me tactician when I need it, and to really screw with an individual model once per turn. And again, that might cost me a lot of key to pull off because again, I really, 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 really want to have 5 key when I do that, so I could get the extra die against a 2-die model. Because even that +1 isn't a guarantee. And I don't have, I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of reroll in here. So, yeah. So that's Misao. So those are my 4 roses. So everything else is Shaite. So who did I take? Well,
You took GwtG.
yeah, I took GwtG. No, I did not take GwtG. That's that. So I went very well. The first model I took is again one of the top 3. I took Wasapu.
Boo.
Yeah, you gotta take Wasapu.
I know.
mean, come on.
You have to.
With the amount of models that I have the potential of turning around backwards, the Backstrike King should do them dirty.
Well, that would be June. Isn't June the Backstrike King? Wasapu is just like...
That's the next model.
Patience, little one. Honey, you're rushing it. You want to go slow and long. All right? Slow and long. Oh my god.
The world was a sex tape.
Oh.
It's like 300 years old.
It's all
That means
painted
I
on
know
a
a
scroll.
lot of things. I know a lot of things, honey. I'm
Before
going to
Phil
teach
came
you.
out, it's all on a scroll.
No, that's not a scroll. That's my skin, and it's
Oh
drooping.
god.
No. Oh man.
Also, it's
so
messed up when I go to sleep tonight.
Wasapu is there to take out models and take them out at range, and we all know how well he does that, at least for Jason. So I thought, what the hell? I'll try it myself. Because yeah, why not? He has fortune. Am I going to be flipping a coin? Probably not. But if push comes to shove and I really need it and I feel lucky, which I never do, I'll be flipping that coin. But you know, he is my preeminent range threat, and because I have Invigorate, I may be doing strafe a lot more often than I normally would, because I could get an extra action and then load up again with more ammo. So awesome. He does have lucky number 8. I've put that enhancement on him because why the fuck not?
Yeah.
He should just be 12 rice, get rid of that card, and just put
Just put the effect on it. Just put it on there. Lucky number 8, right underneath fortune.
No, don't even call it that. Just call it fuck you.
No, there's already a model called that.
Double fuck you.
So Wasapu is there, and you know, if you have 1 crossbowman, what's better than 1 crossbowman?
2 crossbowmen.
2 crossbowmen. So I have
All the
taken
range.
2 Kayukahan crossbowmen. Yeah, they're 10 rice each, so that's 20 rice there. They suck in melee. They're decent in range. They get 1/6. They move 4. They got a little dagger. Honeys, when you're going out shooting things, you might get jumped. Here, Granny's gonna give you some daggers. Don't get into melee, you dumbasses. His crossbow. Their crossbows are the same as Wasapu's, 4, 8, 12, +1 on damage. They have 4 ammo. They have fortune. I might flip with them because why the fuck not? Because they don't have strafe or vital strike. So yeah, I got sneak. What the hell does sneak do? I can't remember.
I think it actually gives you light-footed, so it's actually kind of useful.
I get light-footed. So if I need light-footed, if I'm in a terrain-heavy thing, or my opponent screws me over and puts some difficult terrain in front of me, or a judge puts a big patch of difficult terrain in the middle of field, fucker.
Yeah, yeah. Looking at you.
Evasive is actually kind of helpful.
Evasive
is kind of helpful. So there's that. But really, you know, I might do the flip just to see if I get some extra, so I can boost in melee when someone jumps my ass. Otherwise, these guys are flipping objectives. They're gonna shoot their load and
break their
and flip objectives afterwards. And again, if my turn facings go right, I'm hitting people in their backs. And they do get the unique effect where they can reload all their ammo tokens. But my guess is
once they shoot, it's going to be just
they get 4 rounds of shooting because they don't have strafe. So fuck it, you know, I'm probably going to get 2 shots off at best because either somebody's going to engage them or somebody's going, or I'm going to be flipping an idol with them.
Oh,
So
Jason's going to make a card that gives him strafe.
that'd be awesome.
That
So
would be-
that's what those guys are. Those are my flippers.
make 3 Wasapoos effectively.
3 Wasapoos. So that brings me to my last model. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is my 8th model. And it is, as
June.
Jason alluded to, thank you for ruining my thunder,
No problem.
is Joom. If I could actually find him.
Do you have?
He's under J, right?
Yeah.
There he is. Joom. He's a Shaite. He's an assassin, kind of. I'll be honest, I wanted to take Kenamina in here, but I have to go with theme.
Yeah. I mean, I would take Kenamina over Joom. I'm not going to lie. I've tried to get Joom to work, but
Blacker's
not
kind of.
gotten it.
Well, I'm hoping this will work with this list. So I'm taking Joom. He's 11 rice, 2 in his melee. For somebody who's going to be my designated hitter, that kind of blows. But we'll see what we can do without that. Range 2, I could boost it. He's got Shuriken. Yay. Moves 4, 1/6. Yeah. He's got Taiche with powerful attack. Like I'm ever going to be able to pay for that. Or will I? And his Shuriken -1 on strength. He get combo attack 1. I'm lightweight 3, 5, 7. It's not really good he's not like ninja good, but this is how they should be. So I could screw something up a little bit.
He's like if a hobo found like a shuriken and it's just he's
Well,
he's like the South Park kids when they got the ninja weapons.
Yeah, exactly. Traits: assassin, disguise 5. Oh well, that ruined that. So he already has disguise on him, which becomes disguise 6.
Nope.
No, it's just
It's only roses that get that benefit. Unfortunately, that would be nice if it was all of them. Honestly, though, Joom should have disguise 6 as an 8.
He has fortune, which I'll never use. Or maybe I will because Lurker kind of blows, but that's just me. I'm sure I'm sure there's other people who find uses for Lurker, and maybe I'll have a little more use with it.
Lurker is the default. I feel like in Bushido, you need a key feat, and we don't want to really try to
just
think of something to create with a new one.
Just don't give him a key feat.
That's what they should do in some of these cases, and just make them cheaper.
I'll be honest, it's probably worth it because I could put him behind something. He's getting cover, and they can't do shit to him until they get close enough to be able to flip it off, or they have 6 suns.
Well, the issue is though is that Lurker costs 2. Lurker should really just be a 1.
What else is he spending it on? He's not increasing. He can't increase his melee pool.
I would at least buy.
I can do it for my Shuriken
range. That would be about it.
Anyway, so I'm flipping the coin for him, and if I get the 3 on turn 2, yay me. And then I'm effing something up, effing it in the A. Honey, you shouldn't talk that way. That's rude. So unique effects. Now this is where the plan comes together. I just shook my head though. If this model is involved in a melee exchange with a surprised model, double this model's melee pool until the end of the melee exchange. So his 2 becomes 4.
Oh, I thought it became 5.
No, he's only base 2.
I know.
Add 1 to it, right? I had this 1.
Yeah.
He becomes a melee pool 4, and I'm striking somebody and I'm going to be striking somebody from behind, so they're down a die. If I'm really lucky, they're exhausted. Now they're down 2 dice.
So technically, it's a 5.
Eat your fame.
I want this ability so much. I think that it needs to be changed though, because it's so easily mitigated with 6 cents and aware models.
Well, it's hard to, and again,
and it's hard, and even though
really got to set it up.
It's so hard to pull off. Realistically, it should just be if you just strike someone in the back. So that way, arcs at least. I mean, aware models still will ignore it, but
it's all right.
At least you can use it against 6 cents models because
the trick is I'm going to have him lurking around there. He's got disguise. I have chances to flip models with either Sake or with the theme. And so even if Saki dies, I still have 1 chance every turn to flip somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So on 1 key models, he's going to be just royal death because they can't do shit to him because he's got disguise. And
really attacks them, and then he loses it.
I'm going to attack him from behind because you better well damn be sure that I'm going to flip their asses around. And I'm going to impetuous something else, so that way if I blow the tactical test, that means somebody else goes first and my target's going to die. Or hopefully die. if all goes to shit, he still has Shuriken, and if I'm lucky, I have enough key where I get 3 dice. I'll spend 1, so I'm combo on it. And if I'm really, really lucky, I'm striking him in the back. I'm lightweight, so I should be able to get to medium, so I'm 5s. Maybe 4s if I'm really, really lucky. If it's a big target, fuck it. Payday.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I've always had my issues with Jum. I think he's a cool model, but as far as using him, I've heard people like say that you got to just be really good at it, but he just has so many natural counters, and it's like the only major way that I can see him effectively working well.
So
besides bad matchup is like having Tsubaki throw blind powder. I only get to throw that off once, so if I don't kill it.
And they did put a piece of equipment. Or I'm sorry, I put an enhancement on it.
Oh, what'd you put on him? Maybe this was what I've been missing.
No, it totally is not what you've been missing. Genzi's own luck.
Oh, okay. That actually would make a lot of sense for him.
This model rolls for any test. Any supporting dice that rolls a 6 will add +2 instead. So basically, it's the old way of rolling
old
dice.
School Bushido 6s. That would fuck someone up.
So if I'm getting assassin, so I'm no, let me backtrack. So I'm rolling 4 dice, and I probably pull out 1
for powerful,
and I'm really hoping that I roll 666s. It's happened once or twice, but man, if I get
even if you roll 2 6s, I mean that already is net 8 right there. 9 depending on whatever that third value is.
1 6, and everything else takes me to 8.
10. Oh
no! If you get 1 6, then you're up to
1
8.
6 7 8. If I roll 1, so if I get the primary dice 6, I'm now 8. If I roll an additional 6,
then you're at 9.
Then I'm at 10.
No, you start at 6. The additional 6 takes you up to 8, and then the third.
I'm already there. So so bear with me. I roll a 6, a 5, and a 2. I'm at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Now I roll 6, 6, 5. I'm at 10. Because normally I would be 9, but that additional 6 becomes a 2. Right?
No, your math is
off.
Oh
no, you're right. My math.
You would be at 9. So if you roll triple 6s, then you're at a 10.
I'm at a 10.
If you roll 2 6s and another die that's not a 1, then you're at a 9.
This is why I was an English major.
Yeah, so I was trying to tell you, your math was off.
Gaming math is hard sometimes.
Gaming math. We've been doing this for too long. Anyway, the whole point of him having this particular card is 1, it's 1 rice. 2, if I can pull that off where I get that additional 6 on the to hit, especially on a back strike, then so much the better. So yeah, I'm really still relying on my range game. I won't lie. And when you're talking about those models that can mitigate it, those that have Sixth Sense, those that have Aware, really my range models are going to be trying to deal with them. I don't think I'll wipe them off the board, but I'll put a severe hurt on them so that way, should they come up and engage, I can at least keep them busy. Now, Joom is going to be there when I could pull off that back strike. But that start of the turn where he's in range, I can move him in, I could hit somebody. If I give him Invigorate, so much the better, because then he can move around and do things. Or I could charge and still have an action left.
Yeah.
So there's a few things that I could do with him. Now, is it optimal? And do I have to plan it right? Yeah. Am I really good at planning? But
no, you are good at planning. Your dice tell you that you're not good at planning. That's a difference.
There's a difference, but that's the idea behind it. Now, so that's the high thing. I got flankers coming in that are going to be able to pull people back, turn their backs around, and then I have models that will take advantage of that either through a range game or Joom coming in and kind of putting the finishing blow on it. And then I have Misao kind of evening the playing field on certain things, because nothing's worse than Joom coming back, hitting somebody in the back who may or may not be exhausted, and 3 of their dice are going to be worth 1, and one of those is going to be 1. So 2 additional dice are going to be 1s. I like my odds, especially if those dice that are coming up 1s are 6 and 5. So, that's the game plan on that. Now, I did take some events. I had about 8. With those things, I had 5. I had 5 with all the enhancements that I actually put on models. I had 5 rice left. To make it real simple, I took Kotai's Blessing.
Okay.
because I want to have those rerolls on ones, because I will get them. Guaranteed. I took 3 inside informations because I need, if I'm flipping something on turn 1, it's really easy for somebody to go and say, yeah, I'll just turn face again. Fuck you, Greg. Not if I make somebody else impetuous, and then you have to move that model, and then I can move and hit you in the back or shoot you in the back. So I could do that 3 times a game. And then I took in the hands of the kami, because who doesn't want more key?
Who doesn't want
I'll
more
gamble.
key on Wasapu?
It costs 0. So at some point I'll be able, I'll make a call. If maybe I'll use it on Misao. Maybe I'll use it on June. Maybe I'll probably use it on Wasapu. But the long and the short of it is, I have the option where I could gamble and maybe get lucky and get that extra key. So, and it costs me nothing. So I might as well.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, exactly. So that's my list. Again, we have a hard time with roses. Maybe others are better at it. It's again, I think it's because they're a finesse and they're trying to line things up and things have to go a very certain way. And you really are playing the scenario game. I think
Also,
I have enough stuff to cover the scenario game. I don't know if I have enough to take a beating.
No, you usually don't. And the big thing with roses, whenever I've used them, is they have a lot of counters. I'm not gonna.
Minimoto will screw with this list hard.
Yeah, besides Minimoto, even if it's not Minimoto, is just like the oh my god horrible counter. But there a lot of armies have a reasonable answer to this, especially in the game where a lot of people are using 2 key models.
That's the thing. There's a lot of 2 key models in there.
It's really cool, but right now for what's available to be used, it can be kind of it can be very interesting, it can be fun to play, but as far as like if you're going to take it to like anything outside of like a local store tournament, I find it difficult. There's just too many counters out there that it's like I can easily handle this.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, if I could dredge up 5 more points, I could put Haname in this list, which is probably me removing Disguise, Disguise, and Genzi, and maybe dropping 2 inside informations. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to do that just to get Haname in there, but that's an option.
So something else that you could do if you are worried about beaters is you could take Sukarachi and 2 silverbacks.
That plays it a whole different way.
Yep, just saying.
I know.
It gives you some.
I'm trying to play it. I'm trying to play it so that way I'm playing more of the finesse game.
You can still play the finesse game.
You'll still play the finesse game. It's just you have 2 big ass gorillas all
that are running around trying to jump something in its back. I get it.
Oh yeah. That gorilla is going to definitely give some interesting stories to Misao.
That would be Misao going, and that would be both the Kayukan crossbowmen.
I mean, yeah, you could always take 1 silverback too if you don't want to drop that much, but.
If I'm gonna go for the ground pound, beat them into the dirt kind of thing, I'm taking both.
Yeah,
because
it just gives you extra options.
It does. So I guess there's a lot of ways to play it, but if you're starting to play that pounding out, then honey, your mind's in the gutter, honey.
Oh yeah,
it's not attractive.
It's been there.
All right, so that is my Jade Rose Gumi list. Again, give us your thoughts on that. That's been the one that's been kind of really messing with us for a long time. So any insights on that would be well appreciated. So that leaves us. Hopefully, Cody's promises will go quick. So we're gonna cross our fingers on it.
Oh yeah, 5 minutes.
So that leaves us with Yokozuna's Revenge.
I was most excited about this one because it is the easiest.
It is the most straightforward.
You have essentially 2 choices.
Butos and more Butos.
Yeah,
4 Butos and 20 rice of cards, or 5 Butos and no cards.
Exactly. That is the exact choice. So I love it because one way is right, the other way
Other way is like the Butos like trying to be ninjas. It's basically a bunch of fat people like, guys, we're ninjas.
You could take Lua.
So it's me role playing. Anyway.
Yes.
So the first benefit is during deployment, nominate an enemy model. Yokozuna Akashi gains aggressive, +1 melee strength, and sharp, which is 1 because it's not, whatever.
Right.
And while resolving melee exchanges with that model. That's good for Yokozuna Akashi. Minus the aggressive part, but who cares? He wants to go be aggressive anyways.
apparently.
So the second benefit is each turn the first failed opposed key test for an enemy key feat is ignored.
That's
The
nice.
friendly model is considered to have succeeded and the enemy model failed instead. So FU control. Yeah.
And FU Solus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, well,
That's a bigger one.
Solus doesn't really matter.
Solus, yeah, Solus isn't too bad. It's anything
Well-
that's got fear
Post
Well, yeah,
terror.
I mean,
or terror.
yeah, or Dread.
Now that's a weird. Now I didn't mean to derail this all of a sudden. That would be an interesting
And
interaction because
opposed
terror
key-
says
It's a
you
post
have
key
to-
test. It's not a challenge
Post-key,
test.
yeah.
So that's why Solus it
Oh,
screws
key
Solus
feed.
over because Solus says that they automatically win. Well, this
not
supersedes it.
anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
As long if
Not
you're
when they're
not-
active.
Yeah.
Not when they're active.
But that's
if
what I mean,
they're
though. If they're not the
defending-
active model.
Yeah.
So if you're going up against a not activating model, then Solus would still win.
I don't think this list has a whole lot of.
Well, it
opposed
wouldn't
key
work that
feats.
way anyways. It's first failed opposed key test for an enemy key feat. So
Oh.
they're the one doing the key feat anyways.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
So that one's really good just because it
Gives us
protects
some
you
safety.
from controlled if people forget about it or you forget about it in your own theme.
Hey, she didn't control me.
Right.
Maybe you should have Kenmo fight me.
Yeah. And then the
Wanna get
third
high? No, sorry.
Good lord. The third effect is friendly models gain bodyguard Yokozuna Akashi 3 inches and coordinated attack Yokozuna Akashi. That's amazing.
So everybody, it's the new sitcom. Everybody loves Yokozuna Akashi.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The fourth benefit, yep, you heard me right, 4 benefit, is you can take Lua as a Ronin model, spoiler alert. And the last one, 5 benefits.
This isn't a benefit. This is more like a restriction.
Yeah, I know, right? You have to recruit Yokozuna Akashi.
Damn, I was gonna take it without.
So, spoilers.
It's not his revenge. It's just kind of like he's there.
Right. So, permitted, Buto. Exclusion, Oda. Pretty straightforward here.
Darn, so I can't
Oh,
take his
yeah.
virtue token. Or inspiration, things that would actually help this list.
Yeah,
So
does it need it? It's awesome.
Yes,
All right,
it
so what do you
does.
got?
So the first model, we'll start with Yokozuna Akashi. This was Jason's third choice. He's all around really good. 20 rice, 3 melee, bucket of wounds. He has innate push defense 0 and throw defense 0. He has +2 on his hammer, Jumo. And he's got tough 1, fear 4 endurance, all the stuff. And then
Fearless.
yeah.
Immovable.
immovable, so all those shenanigans. And then he's got 3 key feats. The Mocking Blow is really good, so when this model deals damage as a result of a melee exchange, the opposing model gains an impetuous marker. Promo, they get the Budo get terror.
That's
which is
fun.
Always
That's
good.
That is really fun.
And rally's always nice too if you're going up against high fear. I mean, it helps with all of the Buto benefits, but you never know. So
Well, just removing the frightened state markers off of them is nice because although your Buto would have steadfast, so it buffs them.
But
Right.
getting rid of that penalty is huge.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
and then as long as he's not almost dead, he can't be one shot. So with his unique effect.
Yeah. Well, this model has 2 or more unmarked wound boxes. Reduce damage taken to ensure this model has at least 1 unmarked wound. So it gets like durable, right?
It's
at
like
2.
semi-durable.
Yeah. When he has 2 left, he has durable. So you're gonna have to hit him twice.
So
When he has a medium base, pew, 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 pew,
he doesn't care.
he doesn't.
If you take the 20 rising cards, you throw a vial of Raijin's breath on him, and he flies around the board.
Pretty much.
Just once.
Yeah.
Or
So-
Rashi's fan.
So that is model 1.
That is model 1.
Model 2 is Manu. I already talked about him.
Just gonna put his picture up.
Yep.
There he is.
Same reasons. He was my number 3. Just really good.
Now here's a question though. So the theme gives them bodyguard Yokozuna Akashi, correct?
Yes. He can bodyguard while exhausted.
Ching, ching, ching,
And
ching,
he
ching,
gets
ching.
fearless then.
Huh?
And he gets fearless, which is nice too.
Yeah.
So, important safety tip. I guess who's hanging around and benefiting from coordinated strike with Yokozuna Akashi?
Guess who's going to start using that ability more often to screw with you guys when we play games?
Fuck you, Jason. Fuck you.
Exactly. Next model is Melosi. For all the reasons Jason said, you can't really go wrong with him.
Brings the heat.
Yeah, he's an all-around beat stick, and I like him more than just Tantalo by himself, because
Yeah.
I'm bringing this list is literally I'm bringing the beef.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Tantalo brings it, but it's just he's a little bit off.
Yeah, this list should just be renamed Hillshire Farms. We have the beef.
Isn't that Arby's?
Well, Arby's,
Arby's.
We have the beef.
Yeah. Pepperidge Farm remembers. I don't know where you're going for.
Hillshire Farms is Go Meat. Sorry.
Go Meat.
Yeah.
Go Meat.
Yeah. When I say Hillshire, you say Farms.
We ran that promo a long time ago.
Yeah,
it didn't go well on the docks.
It's late. I'm trying to go 5 minutes, and you guys are distracting me.
You're failing your roles.
The fourth model we haven't talked about is Fituyama.
Oh, Fituyama.
Whatever. None of us say these names right.
Nah.
So he is 3 melee pool, 2 key, bucket of wounds. He has +2 on his Jumo. He comes with combo attack 1, which is always nice, force back attack 0, and powerful attack 1. So no throws, which is a bummer. Sad face. He's got the immune prone and intimidate, steadfast. So there's 2 models, I think. I don't remember if Yokozuna actually has
Yokozuna's fearless. Yeah, I don't think.
Malusi has intimidate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 2 models with intimidate, which is always nice, and then he's got the key feat batter.
Not pancake batter, right?
It depends.
Your brain could become pancake batter because he hit you so hard.
And that is him if he wounds models, giving them a stun marker.
And it's an instant, so you do that just before. I would say you pay the 2 before you roll for. Pay the 2.
You can do it at any point.
You do it at the damage phase.
Well, you get the 2. You get the 2 until the end phase. Models wounded by. Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So you can do that whenever.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I really like him, but again, when I'm looking at Buto, I'm looking more for the activations that I can take away. So, in my opinion, Manu or Yokozuna are better just because of those throws.
Mm-hmm.
So
I never got him to really work, to be quite honest, Fituyama.
Yeah, he's 19, so he's one of the lower cost Butos.
He's the cheapest one.
He's the economical version.
Yeah, he's not bad, but
he's cheap meat.
He's 3 points more than Geechi, and you get so much more for him.
Exactly. So much more. Geechi's garbage. Anyway, so the last model in the list is Lua. Yep, that's why I saved him for last, so he didn't jump around.
I don't know if he's got his card.
Oh no, yeah.
You should.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
So Lua is actually a Jung model, but he's a Buto, so you get to take him because the theme says so. So why wouldn't you? He's 3 melee pool. His key stat is 2/8, where I believe the rest of them are 2/6s.
Yeah, they are.
So his giant axe has brutal 1, and then he's got force back attack 1. Mm-hmm. He has pretty much, he's got all the standard Buto, endurance, fear, immune, prone, all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
but then he has dirty fighting and hack. So the dirty fighting, no use of or declaration of special attacks or defenses, and then hack is powerful attack 0.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Jung got like an awesome version for theirs. Like, it makes me look at Fituyama. I'm like, okay, this is garbage compared to what I could get with if I could pull Lua and if I played Yokozuna, because he does way more. He's
so jealous. He's so saucy.
I am. Yeah. I am. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I wish that they had a couple more options, like even just generic Buto that maybe had half as many wounds and
training Butos or something like that.
Yeah, that were a little cheaper, just so you could not necessarily pump up your numbers, but it doesn't feel as bad taking 4 models and 20 rice and
cards.
Yeah. I mean, it's the most annoying 20 rice and cards you could possibly take. But
yeah, literally, you are struggling at that point because, like, after like 12, I feel like you've pretty much hit everything that you need in Silvermoon.
Yeah,
well, that just means you're grabbing whatever you're taking out of Silvermoon, or you're taking a fuck ton of dark secrets.
That's the only way that I think about it. Is I just pad it out with like 10 dark secrets.
You take your three inside informations. You take 3 dark secrets. Could I take more? Sure, why not? I take preordained because I take Hotai's blessing because
Loyalty because I like it. Shrewd negotiation at whatever level.
It may be where shrewd negotiation, just so you eliminate a thing, and you put it at 3, which costs you 2. There's a couple cards in there that I want to try for events. Now, so you don't have any events in this?
No, this is 100 rice.
100 rice of beef.
Yep.
On the button. So that's essentially the list, and I'm assuming the whole idea behind it is to beat the shit out of things.
Yeah.
And control zones, and that's what you're going to be really good at, but objectives may be rough.
Yeah.
Ish.
You're basically trying to have Akashi, Melosi, and Lua run around and beat the living crap out of stuff. Manu is kind of staying back to protect, and then your real objective getter is Fujiyama.
Yep. Okay.
Unless you're playing against skeletons, and then you want all the combo attack and
all combo all the time.
Yeah.
So if you went heavy with, and again, people probably would say take GwtG if you wanted to get some, go cheap and get some.
Well, you can't.
GwtG's a Jumo.
Oh, yeah. He's a Jumo. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why he's like, he can't even go into this. Otherwise, that would be his only value.
So
you literally have 2 options with this list. It is basically that or 5 models or 4 models
for a fuck ton of stuff. So one of the things I was going to say is that this allows you maybe to take some situational cards, although they're expensive. And I'm gonna. There were 2 that I looked at in my list that I thought would be very fun to take, but the problem is again, I don't see them being used as much. The way that the game is going, unless you're playing against very specific things, Jung, Silvermoon, or Bakemono Savage Wave.
Anything that can kind of spam numbers.
Right. But I would I thought about taking Isubi's Tithe. Play during the starting phase after models gain activation markers. Choose X non-soulless, non-insignificant. And that's why I didn't say Cult of Uriel, because they got a fuck ton of those dudes, but they're soulless. Non-insignificant enemy models with a key statistic of 1 or less. So the Temple would be there too. These models must spend 1 key or lose an activation counter.
Mm-hmm. That one I've thought about using before, but again, how the current meta is, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I know.
Especially because they specifically say key 1. If it was just any model, then I would actually consider using that, and I'd pump it probably 2 or 3 to at least strip some key off of a model.
And that's why I didn't take it. And they
have the same thing with
what's funny is they have
this.
Yeah, that's the same. It's the same wording.
Oh,
except I think it's
no, it's different because I thought it affected if you wanted to do like scenario actions or something. Drunk on Sake, that's another cool one, but again, it only affects 1 key models, and it's just not. You can't use it.
I didn't even put it there. I was tempted by Food Monopoly, however.
Yeah, that one I've had fun with.
Great way to slow down Grey Pilgrim.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of inopportune beginning. Being able to throw that 50 mil base out in the opponent's deployment zone that they can't be in base to base with.
I only find it useful when they're when it's like corner edge deployment, when they have that there. Otherwise, it's like baseline. It's like
baseline's great depending on how you're playing player deployed, or even some of the boards that we had at Adepticon. If I had this plus rice bale barricades,
You could really force a corridor.
You can bottleneck them, or you can push them off that direct path of being able to go straight to a objective.
Well, it only works for deployment, then it goes away. So it's just the setup. So.
Yeah, but again, once you put the models out, you got to then move back into the spot and then across. And you really don't want to go. You don't want to go side to side. You want to go front, forward. So anyway, that's just some of the things that Silvermoon does. So that was our. I'm gonna stop that. Maybe. Ooh, that's an interesting screenshot there. Let's go back to that. So that is our take on Silvermoon themes. Tell us what you think. I would probably take mine to a local tournament to give it out, but I would probably play it a little more before I would go, and that's because I still need to kind of check things out. Cody's Yokozuna Akashi list, well, it's a no-brainer. I just take it, play, because I'm going to beat the shit out of stuff and see how,
I think that list was at Adepticon.
Yeah, it was. Jason from Splinter Brush played it.
Splinter Brush. Yeah.
I'd never play it because it painted so beautifully. It just
he just really nice job. I like it.
Just through my.
I think he did Shenron on Malusi.
Yeah,
where he had Shenron, and then he had all the Dragon Balls.
All the Dragon Balls.
Cool. Yeah.
As for the other ones, Jason's list is Jason's Traveling Show. We're used to different versions of Jason's Traveling Show on a weekly basis. So I would feel confident taking that pretty much in whatever variation he has, and I'd have good success. Again, I think anything that you take with Silvermoon, you have to learn the quirks of Silvermoon.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's the second biggest learning curve in the game at this point.
It can be
third with after Kinshi with the Kinshi monks that just came out. I guess it would drop to 3. It would be like
KKZ, Kinshi,
and then Silvermoon.
Shiho
now too. Yeah. Shiho. So it probably drops down to 4.
Nah, I think that it's tied with Shiho.
You can play Silvermoon straightforward.
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess.
So
I mean, you can play some of the other factions straightforward too, but at least with like playing Buto, you have the forgiveness of a bucket load of health.
That's
and depending on who you put in for your support, you're messing with people's dice. You're making things more expensive for people to do. You got a lot of things that you could do with screw people. We just didn't. Our lists, roses don't get the Jade Rose Gumi don't have access to that kind of level of screwing. Although I did take Masao, so I did have a little bit of. You always are gonna have a little bit of screwing when you're working with my people, but I don't have Fuku. I don't have.
I
could have taken Rocky, and Rocky does mess with things a bit, so I could have taken that for 8 points. Anyway, just a lot of ground to cover. There's a lot of variation, and I will say the one thing that we didn't discuss because we're rolling out of a lot of time is I will say, and others could disagree with me. Silvermoon is the one faction that you probably could do this with. I could still play pure faction, but not take a theme.
Oh yeah.
Other people don't do their. Other people. I'll give you a second here. Other people will play theirs non-faction, so that way they could take in the Ronin. Silvermoon. I don't necessarily need to do that. I just want to break things because I want to take a rose or two with my Butos and take Old Zoe and something else. Because the combinations that you could put together, not that the theme bonuses aren't good, they are pretty decent. It's just the things that you could do when you mix and match the things that are typically excluded or not permitted, or you're only allowed these in the themes, is limiting. So being able to mix and match and put that stuff in is kind of, it's kind of fun. I want to do. I might also try to do a list where it's Old Zoe and Misao, and they're out on an old couple's date. That Old Zoe, he knows how to charm me.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, for the majority of the time playing Silvermoon, until it was more recently, where I think it was you, Cody, where it's like, well, what are you missing to play this? Oh, I just need to take this model. Then why the hell don't you? Because I just wanted to play with this model, and So that just kind of upped it there. But again,
Yeah, I should have never said that.
all things point towards Cody just adding misery to his life.
I'm just trying to help people out.
I was
that's
having
all we're
fun.
doing
I was
here is
having
helping
fun
people.
doing my own thing, and then you're the one that's like, oh well, here, Jason, just like use your brain. Where it's like I knew I could do it, but I was just like I didn't want to. And then it's like just use your brain. Okay, well this is what happens when I do, and that's
Yeah, and then you started kicking the crap out of me.
Yeah, well,
more often.
More, yeah. Before it was more of a 50-50, and it came down to dice. Now it's just like, oh my god,
Like,
do I have to play Jason? That's why
you sound like Brian.
Yeah, I just don't even show up to the store anymore.
Oh snap! All right, well, on that note, we'd like to thank you for listening. You kind of slogged through all this. We're slowly coming to the end of this whole thing where we're about to go through all factions. Now, I will tell you, for us on our list of things that we have left Dissension, and we have Cult of Uri. We're saving Cult of Uri for our Halloween special. So we got 2 left. We're not going to cover Kinshi just because it's pretty obvious what there is to do with Kinshi, because there's
not a lot. It's a limited faction release, and they have one theme, so it's
one theme and 8 models, maybe. I don't know. Not that many.
I think they have 10.
They have 10.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised if they had 10.
No, I think it's 8.
I think it's 8.
I thought it was 10%.
Anyway, yeah, doing a top 3 wouldn't be worth it, and doing a theme would be really freaking quick. And the choices would be pretty obvious.
Yeah, top 3: Ku, She, and who cares?
There we go. I gotta put a double in there. It's our top 3.
Silvermoon and
Silvermoon and Kinshi. So kind of look forward to that, and then
they have 9 models.
We're gonna plan something special. We're not going to go over Ronin, but we're going to plan something special that we'll talk about more as we go along in the next couple weeks. We kind of got to organize things, but we'll just say we're going to try to put something together that encompasses all the models in Bushido.
It will be the Super Bowl of Bushidos. Or the World Cup of Bushidos.
The World Cup of Bushidos. But we'll for that one we're going to have
at that point.
For that one we can't just
because of the World Cup shit.
For that one we just can't trust our 3 opinions. We got to pull in a lot of weight. So we'll let you know about how that's going to work. So until then, we thank you for watching, as we always do. We really do appreciate it. We hope you enjoy it and are getting something out of it. Whether it's helping you with putting together a list for a tournament, getting you through painting a backlog of your pile of shame, or just putting something together so you can have fun with your friends to play. That's what we're kind of doing with this. If you did like what you hear, tell us about it. Give us a comment. Tell us what you would put together for a list. Tell us how you hate us. Tell us how you want to hear more Misao in more episodes.
Yeah.
Cody, stop shaking your head, honey. I know you like me. It's okay.
You can't have nightmares.
You're gonna have nightmares all the time.
Yeah.
So comment, let us know. That gives us an idea of if we're doing something right, if we're doing something wrong. As always,
always wrong.
It's always wrong on many, many levels.
It gets to that point real quick. That explicit label easily on this episode, like doesn't even have to worry about someone.
Yeah, if you're shy and don't like typing, just ring the bell, give us a like. That's how we'll know that you enjoy it. Share it with your friends, so that way they can experience everything, all the stupidity that we do here. And finally, if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Please subscribe. That way you'll get that notification first. And maybe, I wonder if I could override the notification, like you get that notification chime that you get something and it says, you got a message. Check your messages. You never call me back.
Maybe we'll try to make
you never comment about what I'm doing.
We'll make Misao into a ringtone, into an audio file people should be able to download and send as their ringer, their notifications.
If you want Misao to do your voicemail message
or your notifications, let us know. We'll figure out how to make an audio file. Different sayings.
That'll be for our 300th subscriber. We'll do another draw of all existing and new subscribers once we get to 300, and then you could have Misao do your message.
Create your voicemail.
We're never going to hit 300.
He can't come to the phone right now. He's a little busy, if you know what I mean. So leave a message. With that being said, thank you so much again for listening or watching. We do appreciate it. We'll hopefully get some more battle reports up here shortly. Until that time, have a great day or evening, wherever you may be.
Thanks,
Have a good
everybody.
night.
Qushqa chalg'anda